Good evening, everybody. Thank you guys for joining us this evening. This is the Political Theater Weeknights, and I thank you guys for joining us this evening. We've got a big show for you this evening. We've got a ton of stuff to discuss. The Democrats are absolutely panicking in Virginia. They're completely losing their minds. They claim the polls are off by 10 points, but now Obama, Pete Buttigieg. I mean, I think the entire Democrat Party is going to show up down in Virginia to start campaigning for Spamberger. I mean, does Obama being on the ground in Virginia scream we're up 10 points in the polls? I don't think it does at all. We've also got some interesting stuff that Jen Psaki has come out here and said that Usha Vance is, she's terrified and that she's having a bad time. She doesn't like JD very much or something like that. So the Democrats are in a full tailspin right now. And Fetterman even came out here and said that it's embarrassing for these people. So we've got a ton to talk about this evening. But this is Walter Curtin Trash Discourse. Thank you guys for showing up. Make sure you guys share this link out. We are live on X, Substack, on YouTube, Rumble, everywhere that we can possibly be live as of right now. We're going to be moving to more platforms shortly. But we also have a huge announcement this evening, and this is something we talked about over the weekend and we talked about yesterday. Is we're actually getting our first sponsor for the show this evening. So the announcement for that is the Wellness Company is now sponsoring the show. Now, for those who don't know who this company is, I actually, when they reached out to me, I was actually kind of excited about it because I really like this company. I didn't even, I didn't think that would have been a company that would have reached out to me. This is something that I've seen their products before. I know people that have bought many of their products. I actually support this company long before I even heard or even they were willing to sponsor this show. So you can go check out twc.health/TPT. That's a referral link for this show. And if you use TPT at checkout, you get 10% off. But they've got all kinds of good products on this company. I mean, they've got all sorts of stuff. They've got contagion kits. They sell ivermectin. They sell hydroxychloroquine. But the other thing that I really like, and I actually didn't know this, after they contacted me about their sponsoring this show and sponsoring me for this, I was actually really interested. So I went and started looking through all their stuff, and I didn't know that they actually offer beef boxes, which are high quality beef and all sorts of other stuff like that. And for those who don't know, I'm a carnivore. I do 100% carnivore diet. So to me, I was super excited about that. So that's the announcement for the first sponsor for the show. So the Wellness Company now sponsors the Political Theater. So if you guys want to use TPT at checkout on that, you get 10% off. And if you send the referral link out, which is twc.health/TPT, you get 15% off. So anyway, so that's our first sponsor for the show, and that's big news for us. So, we've come a long way in this show, and we've been doing this every single night for months on end now, so this is exciting stuff for us. So thank you guys for showing up this evening, and we've got a ton of stuff to get through, so I just want to get right into it here, because the fact that Obama, Pete Buttigieg, I mean, who else are they going to trot out? Are they going to get Kamala to show up in Virginia? Is that the next thing that they'll do? I assume Kamala's on her way. Now, she is very drunk. She is hammered drunk, so they probably have to pull her off a stage somewhere and get her to drag her to Virginia. And I'm not sure she wants to be in the same room as Obama, because Obama probably doesn't very like her very much. But no one really likes Kamala anyway. So I just think it's incredible that the entire Democrat Party is mobilized to show up down in Virginia, even though they're winning, guys. They swear they're up 10 points in the polls. If you listen to them, they have got this thing in the bag. But it sure doesn't look like it. Okay, to me, if you're bringing out Obama to campaign on the ground in Virginia, and then you got Pete Buttigieg out here on the ground in Virginia, I just don't believe that this is the case. I'm sorry, I don't buy it. I don't believe it at all. I think this is nonsense. Okay, so there's no way that this is actually what's going on here. It's truly they're truly up 10 points in the polls. And even they claim they're up 10 points in the polls, but why would they bring so many people out? Why? Well, just for what reason? I don't believe it. Okay, so it's amazing to me that they claim all of this stuff. We're winning. But let's get all of our best people. All of our best people needs to show up in Virginia now to actually do this. So, but anyway, so we'll get into that here in just a second. But there's lots of other clips we can go on. There's also some stuff that came out today about some of the donors for Abigail Spanberger, that they're part of the extremely pro-trans group and everything else. So it's we've been covering Virginia for this entire, over the entire summer. We've started to move into this, and they swear that they're always 12 points up in the polls. But, nothing about the Democrats right now shows that they're winning and that they're really doing super well in Virginia. And I think they're panicking. And that's the reason we're calling this show this evening. The Democrats are panicking in Virginia, because they absolutely are. So, Trash, what's up, buddy? And what do you think about the entire Democrat Party moving into Virginia to, swear that they're winning there?
Yeah, it's wild to me. that's usually a clear sign that there is trouble in paradise. And it's going to take everyone to show up and bring this thing home. I looked at some data from he's way up if the data is correct. So this whole lopsided swing of internal polling versus external polling, all the by polling.
And
It
Trash,
feels
you
to me,
are rubber banding badly, dude. We can barely hear you.
uh,
Yeah. We can barely hear you. It's rubber banding really badly. I don't know if it's just you or if it's your connection or what's going on, but we can barely hear you. It's coming through horribly. So, give him a second to fix that. But yeah, I mean, this is the point, right? I mean, you don't have Obama show up on the ground when you're up 10 points. And, this is the other thing I saw last week when Obama started endorsing Spamberger. He didn't just endorse her once. He put up, like, I don't know, 6 different endorsements. Like, I mean, he just kept posting it. Like, he posted a bunch of times. And I love, personally, I just love that if you go look at all of Spamberger's posts, it's her with, like, she's got nothing but black people that surround her. Like, she's got all of her props out. Like, I mean, she's just nothing but photos with black children, black women. It's just hysterical to me. I think that they are really not doing well with minorities in Virginia, and they're trying to hide that and trying to claim like they're not. And we're winning. Yeah, I don't think so, guys. I don't think so at all. There's other stuff that has happened today about Virginia that is pretty incredible. For those who didn't see, the Fairfax whistleblower, and this is the story that I broke back in August, the Fairfax abortion scandal. So the whistleblower in that case, yesterday morning, I released an interview with her. And this is her first interview since the interim report came out in Fairfax. Well, that night, they immediately placed Zenaida, which is the whistleblower's name, Zenaida Perez is her name. They placed her on administrative leave. So they immediately put her on suspension. They claimed that she's violated all sorts of, professional code of conduct, blah, blah, blah. They say stuff like she's sharing private information with people. They're sharing confidential information. All this is retaliation. Okay, so they are furious that she won't stop talking to the media. She won't stop actually bringing this stuff up. She won't stop. She won't cower before them. Essentially, is what they really want her to do. And since they're not doing that, and since that's not happening, they are losing their minds. They're losing their minds, and they don't know what to do. And Michelle Reed is freaking out. Michelle Reed is if those don't know who she is the superintendent for the Fairfax County Public Schools, and she gets paid $500,000 a year. And she is very, very upset. And, Michelle, Mitchie, baby girl, I don't care. I'm sorry. Like, I hope you're mad. I hope all of your friends are mad. I hope you're having a terrible day. I don't care that you're upset. And it doesn't appear that Zenaida's upset either, is going to be cowered away from this either, because she just did an interview with Nick Minock as well. So Nick Minock at ABC7, if you guys don't know who that is, that's one of the largest affiliates in D.C. area and covers the Fairfax area, all of that. So he just did an interview with her as well, talking about this, and essentially she's just saying the same thing that she told me, which is this is obvious retaliation, that they're clearly trying to go after her. And this is just yet another example of what's going on up in Northern Virginia. Northern Virginia is becoming a hot point, and just like it was in the previous election, it was a hot point. And this is the same. We've said on this show that there's so many scandals up there right now that it's kind of hard to keep track of them. Like it's really hard to figure out which one exactly is the scandal that you're referring to when you refer to a Northern Virginia education scandal, because all of these Northern Virginia schools are just completely out of control. I mean, they're packed with leftists on their school boards, and they do whatever they want, and they just assume that they're going to get away with it. And what they're really doing right now is they are just playing the game, desperately hoping that Spamberger wins. They want the Spam in office because they think that if Spam's in office, that they'll be able to stand against Trump somehow. Which I don't know how that's exactly going to work, because Mayoris is going to win no matter what. There's no way Jay Jones is going to win. I don't need anybody that believes Jay Jones is actually going to. There was some idiot earlier today that said, "Oh yeah, the Democrats are going to sweep in all of these states." I'm like, I don't think that's true at all. You can believe it all you want, but that's wishful thinking on your part. Mayoris is definitely going to win in Virginia. There's no way that people are going to vote for Jay Jones. I refuse to believe that many people are just going to ignore the fact that he wants to kill people's children and let them die in their mother's arms. And then he says he was held accountable for that. Oh, yes, I was held accountable by my party, which is they made me say sorry publicly. I guess that's accountable to Democrats if you just say, those words that I said, I didn't mean them anymore. Even though you didn't know about them and I didn't tell you about them, someone else figured this out and then released it. And then after that happened, then I came out and yes, I'm super duper sorry. No one buys that. Okay. Like Jay Jones, your political career is gone. You should have dropped out immediately. The Democrats should have told you to drop out immediately, but you didn't. And now you've got Obama and Pete Buttigieg flying in to try and save the ticket, which is just hysterical to me. I mean, yeah, like this is definitely a winning ticket. Obviously, you need the entire Democrat Party to be mobilized out there to help you win. I just don't think so. So, Trash, are you back?
Yeah. Am I better now?
You are.
Yeah,
You are.
yeah,
Welcome
yeah.
back.
I'm running late. I was actually in the car, so I just hit like a perfect spot right when I began to talk. So I'm fine now.
Good.
Yeah, if you can hear me okay.
Yep, we can hear you. You're good.
Okay. All right. Good. So the point I was making, what I was trying to make was I saw some of the data with Myers as well, and it doesn't look like Jay Jones is going to come back from that. I just don't know how the ticket goes in the other direction. That's why they have to be panicked. I mean, I'm sure they had their internals and they have all of those things, but sending out that group, that packed group of Democrats into Virginia is not a good sign for them, and that means that everyone just has to show up. Just show up and vote, show up to the polls, get out there, and take this win back away from them. It would be a huge momentous thing to be done. And again, Abigail Spanberger's basement strategy is not going to work here. And she's not, and she's going to have to answer questions. She can't just stand there blindly, beating up her notebook and gritting her teeth and ignoring Winston Sears like it's a debate or running away from people like Nick Minock, or just can't happen. And there's a lot of time left, and people just need to get out there and vote like they mean it. And also, congratulations on thanks to the wellness company, the first sponsor. You'll always remember the first sponsors, man.
That's
And
right.
they've been in the fight for a long time with a lot of people that were canceled. They had to move over to like Rumble or different platforms because YouTube demonetized and things like that. So the wellness company's always been there for people like that. So please do support them and check them out. Yeah, so I'm actually pretty excited. There's been a lot of whining. I love it when there's whining. I don't like it when there's threats of violence and violent upticks. We are starting to see finally, some repercussions and actually, being held to account for their activity. They're being held to account for once, and they are losing their minds. That's why they're yelling about the White House, even though that money's coming from Trump and donors. They're whining about this or yelling about that. That's usually a good sign for us, not a bad one. And when Jen Psaki comes out here with some ridiculous story about JD Vance and Usha, like, are you kidding me? Give me a break. Like, it's so ridiculous. And it's nothing but meat and potatoes for the base. And their base is concocted. Well, we saw what happened at No Kings. We see what the base looks like. I just don't, I'm sorry. That's not a lasting coalition, in my opinion.
Yeah, listen to me. This clip from Jen Psaki talking about JD Vance is absurd. I mean, it's crazy. So, like, I want to just go ahead and play this here so people know what we're talking about, just so you get some little bit of context here. This is like, I don't know where they come up with this stuff, but at the same time, it's just like, who are you people to talk about people's marriages? Like, don't you guys hate marriage? I thought you guys wanted everyone to be like, you're supposed to only marry dudes if you're a dude, and you're not allowed to be married if you're a woman. Like, I assumed that was like the way it worked, and I guess it didn't matter if you were a man or a woman because that's not a thing anymore because you can just be, you can change your gender whenever you want. So I'm not sure why they are acting as if they know anything about marriage, and it's always very entertaining to me when I hear them try and talk about marriage because no one cares what you guys have to say. But anyway, listen to Jen Psaki here and see what she has to say on this. It is a ridiculous clip.
I think the little Manchurian candidate, JD Vance, wants to be president more than anything else.
Yeah.
I always wonder what's going on in the mind of his wife. Like, are you
Agreed.
okay? Please blink 4 times.
Yes.
We'll come over here. We'll save you. And that he's willing to do anything to get there. And that your whole iteration you just outlined, I mean, he's scarier in certain
Agree.
ways.
He's smarter.
In some ways. And he's young.
Yeah. And ambitious.
And agile in the sense that he is a chameleon who makes
Right.
himself into whatever he thinks the audience wants to hear from him. Now, what's also true, though, is J.D. Vance is not – he's in some ways goodish on paper if you like what he believes in. I don't know. But I don't know that he can take the whole movement with him.
No way.
I don't think so
way.
either.
There's no riz.
It's got no riz, right?
None.
And he just is a little odd. And
Totally.
so Trump's odd in a different way. So I'm skeptical of that. So yeah, he's got to. I mean, everything going on right now, and I think we have to be very clear-eyed about this, is about trying to manipulate the public around elections. And
So this is more of the JD Vance is weird. Like this is the stupid thing that they trotted out. You guys remember when they started this? It's like after JD Vance was announced to be the vice presidential candidate, they came out with this whole campaign of JD Vance is just weird. And it's like it was like what? Like what are you talking about? Like I mean, no one understood it when they came out with it, and they're still trying to trot it out today. They still think that this is somehow landing, and I don't like. What is weird about JD Vance? He's a he's a Midwestern guy, was successful, came out of a Appalachian family, had a very difficult life as a result of the drug crisis within his own family, managed to make something of himself, has a wife and kids. What's weird about that? Like I don't understand. They to them, not weird is the guys that worked for Obama for Biden that were stealing women's luggage. Those people are normal. Like the concept that they have any idea of what is normal and what is not normal is ridiculous to me. And the idea that JD, they're saying, oh, he has no riz. Like JD Vance, like, and this is one thing everyone notices about Vance is he has the confidence swagger of a politician that is on the absolute uptick. Like, I mean, you can watch it ooze off of him as he walks around. I mean, the idea that he has no charisma around him is ridiculous. But that's what they're doing here. They're trying to go ahead with his wife. Oh my God, I always worry about his wife. You can blink 4 times. Like, what are you talking about? Like, I mean, this is so absurd to me. But this is what the Democrats want to do. They have nothing, so they're just going to go and try and attack. I don't know, trying to make sure that people think that Vance is, in his normal life is very weird for some weird reason. Like, I have no idea what they're doing. They have no message, and this has been obvious for a while. No audio, Trash, if you're speaking. Yep. Looks like we have no audio, so we'll have to wait till he comes back in for audio. But anyway, so we'll keep going here. But yeah, this is amazing to me what they're doing here. This idea that anybody believes that J.D. Vance is some strange character that nobody understands, that nobody believes, and he's just so different and so odd and so out of the loop. It's amazing to me. And of course, now you're back.
Yeah, sorry about that. I force closed it. It was jumping.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, like it's totally normal to have Rachel Levine, whatever his name is, Richard Levine, as Secretary of the Health and Human Services, a dude LARPing as a woman. Like, what are we even doing here? You know what I mean? What are we even doing? That's
right. Yeah, no, Mr. Rachel is completely normal. Right. Everybody knows Rachel's normal. Like Rachel's normal. What was the guy's name from? What was the guy's name that was stealing the luggage? What was that guy's name? I don't remember. I can't remember his name. Yeah, and yeah. I'll pull up his picture because I love this guy. Like every time anybody in the Biden administration or the Democrats like to say, well, yeah, he's such a strange person. Like he's so weird. He's such a strange one. And like, what about this dude? Like this guy that you appointed that was stealing luggage. Like
that dude was meme fodder for a long time. I wanted to go back to a point you were making earlier, and it's. You can't really attack JD. You can't attack his upbringing. They went into military, Ivy League, got into technology, made a ton of money, and now has risen to the vice president of the United States. Usha Vance, obviously, married her with kids. He does have charisma. Matter of fact, he's always been very strong and very even keeled. And this is kind of their problem: is they don't know what to attack him on, and they have a very big problem. With racists in their party. So I bet they're concerned about talking about JD's wife, this is the only thing that they can pull up. And so it's funny to me that they have Jen Psaki rolled out. Did you see what's her name making the rounds as well? Karine Jean-Pierre. She's making the rounds.
Yes. Now, in the one thing I will note about Karine Jean-Pierre is that she has moved on from the poodle look. If you guys are not aware with the poodle look is I'll put this up on the screen for people to know who she is and what the poodle look is. She used to look exactly like a golden doodle poodle. She had the same haircut. And I'm not sure who she was actually, which one she was trying to pull off or what she was trying to say. But let me see. I think I actually have the photo in here. Yes, I do. Okay. So I'll pull this up here. So this was what Karine Jean-Pierre used to look like. And I don't know. What do you guys think? I think this was a good look. I mean, I think the poodle look was solid. Now she's decided to move on from that, and she has a new hairdo, new look. She's decided to straighten her hair, and she's appeared all over the place. But I don't know. I think the poodle look was solid. She moved on from that, though. So she has a new look now, but she's been making the rounds all over the place. Let's go ahead
member
and
of the
play it
inner
here.
circle, and you never saw the decline. And after that, I wrote, how?
Yeah.
You even write, Karine, that you were on the plane with him going to the debate, and you didn't see anything.
Well, when we were
hard to
on Air Force
understand.
One going to the debate, you got to remember his campaign people were on the team, his family was on the team. I actually was one of those rare trips that I didn't really see him until after the debate, even though I was on the plane. So really, I want everybody to know that I take this question incredibly seriously. I do. I was his White House press secretary, which means I had a role that saw him practically every day and traveled with him
And you saw nothing.
for more than 95%. We've always said, we're not going to say, oh, he didn't age. He aged. And he poked fun at it. We always owned up. And with age comes what happens when you get older.
Which is?
But when we talk about the mental acuity, and again, I take this very, very seriously.
Yeah.
I never saw anyone who wasn't there. I saw someone who was always engaged. I saw someone who understood policy, pushed us on the policy, and also understood history. And there were times, I'll tell you the story, there were times where he would call me into the Oval Office, and I would be like, oh no, because I knew whatever he was going to ask me was going to be direct, was going to be about a story he read, about how we're pushing back, how we're...
Okay, so, yes. We all I love that they're trying to revise history here, claiming that, we acknowledged that he was getting old. Yeah, we did. Yeah, everyone knew that. Everyone was all aware that he was getting older, and we all made fun of it. Like, no, you didn't. What are you talking about? You guys were telling us that this guy was like, he was like doing backflips and like, he was like, what is this nonsense? Okay, like claiming that somehow he was. You guys were not just telling everybody that he was doing backflips, reading poetry while riding a unicycle through the White House on a regular basis. Like that's what you told us Joe Biden was doing. He was sharp as a tack, and obviously not peanut butter brain. Like, I mean, like what on the. I love this. I love that they have to come out here and they still won't give it up. They still act, oh, yeah, no, he was fine. He's fine. He didn't have pancreatic cancer and wasn't dying on a beach on Delaware for 2/3 of his presidency. That's not what happened, okay? That's not it, okay? Like, I mean, these people are such just brazen liars. It's amazing to me. Prostate cancer, not pancreatic cancer. But I love this woman coming out here and saying, oh, yeah, no, I never saw it ever. Like, what are you talking about? Like, he turned into a Roomba every time he stood on stage and finished a sentence. He turned into a human Roomba and tried to evacuate the room as fast as possible. Like, I mean, he never even made it towards the door. They had to go lead him off the stage half the time. So I love this, that they still won't give this grift up, that, Joe Biden he was fine. He's just perfectly normal.
My favorite one I just sent you, Walt, in your DM, the Joe Scarborough classic. We got to play it in contrast, because this is what they were saying after that debate.
Yes, absolutely. You say you just sent it to me just now?
Yeah, it's in there.
Not showing up yet. Did you send it to this account, or which account did you send it to?
Send it to Walter. Send it to your Walter account.
Oh, yeah. Now it showed up. It's just X being X. Okay, so yeah. Yeah.
X doing X things.
X doing that. X things. Imagine that. So yeah, let me go ahead and play this here. So.
I remember the luggage. I remember the luggage legionnaire. His name is Sam Brinton.
Yes. Yeah. Someone texted to me too. They said Sam Brinton. And I was like, yes. So Sam Brinton.
Yeah, I typed it down below. Sam Brinton. Yeah.
We should pull up the clip of Tucker Carlson talking to the woman that was like the what was she, like a Tunisian fashion designer, and she was like, he had my dress on, like. That's a custom dress. Like, only me. I was the one who made that, and then it was gone. And then I saw this weirdo wearing it on national television. I was like, oh my God. Like, these people are incredible. Okay, hold on a second here. So this is the Morning Joe talking about Joe Biden here.
But comparing that guy's mental state, I've said it for years now. He's cogent. But I undersold him when I said he was cogent. He's far beyond cogent. In fact, I think he's better than he's ever been. Intellectually, analytically, because he's been around for 50 years. And, I don't know if people know this or not, Biden used to be a hothead. Sometimes that Irishman would get in front of the reasoning. Sometimes he would say things he didn't want to say. This is, and I don't really, you know what, I don't really care. Start your tape right now, because I'm about to tell you the truth. And F you if you can't handle the truth. This version of Biden, intellectually, analytically, is the best Biden ever. Not a close second. And I've known him for years. The Brzezinskis have known him for 50 years. If it weren't the truth, I wouldn't say it. And
Start the tape. This is the best version of Joe Biden. Like, we need to get, like, it is Tuesday, so maybe we'll see Sean Farash here later and we can talk about some of this stuff, because, you know, we can talk about Operation Poop Shoot and at the Vatican. You know, like, I mean, this stuff is so funny to me. Like, I love that we're doing this again because Karine Jean-Pierre's new book is out, and that's, by the way, that's the only reason they're bringing this up again, because she's got her new book out, which I'll read it. Fine. You know, I'll go buy it and I'll read it. And so none of you have to do it. I'll do that for you. So just you are aware, I will read that terrible book. I'm sure it's awful. Like, I can't imagine how bad it's going to be, but yes, I will read it at some point. I'm not sure if it's even worth it, but I will end up probably reading that.
I want to read the clapback book from the Biden camp, because the Biden camp and the Harris camp don't like each other. I've talked about this for years. I've shown you how the factions used legacy media, print and digital, to snipe at each other during their presidencies, during primaries, leading into primary season. I've talked about this for years. But there's going to be a clapback book from the Biden camp, if it's not already out now. That will be interesting. I'll probably have to read that too, because it's probably going to tie some things together that I guessed a few years ago and ended up being right. But by the way, we don't want to go too far off the beaten path here, because I did actually uncover the Tucker Carlson clip. I just sent it to you.
Perfect. Yes. Yeah. This is amazing. So from in the note that we're on here, so for those who may be just tuning in, we're talking about the fact that that Jen Psaki came out and is continuing to do the JD Vance is weird. The JD Vance is so weird, the weirdest person ever. Meanwhile, this is coming from the same camp that literally employed one of these people. Okay, this is one of the guys that actually worked in the Biden administration. And by the way, his job, Sam Brinton's job, was he was in charge of nuclear waste in the United States. Okay, like, so it's not like he just had some random pointless position. He was actually had a reasonably important job. So this is Sam Brinton here.
So we told you about a Tanzanian fashion designer who was watching Fox News coverage of Sam Brinton. That would be Joe Biden's non-binary cross-dressing nuclear waste expert who stole luggage off carousels as part of his fetish. So this designer, Asiya Alkag, noticed that Sam Brinton was wearing one of her dresses. And we thought, how great would it be to track down this Tanzanian designer to tell her story? And we have. She joins us now with her husband, Kamsin. Asiya, thank you so much. Kamsin, thank you. Asiya, will you tell us what happened? How did you notice that it was your dress?
Bismillah. Thanks for inviting me to your show.
Of course.
My name is Asiya Idarus Kamsin, Tanzanian fashion designer based in Houston, Texas. On February 2018, I flew back from Tanzania with my collection of Lady Red Fashion Show 2018, which is my annual platform. I was invited in Washington, D.C. to Kenyan community event who really support my work to showcase my designs. I flew from Houston to Washington, D.C. on March 9th, 2018. When I arrived in DCA, one of my bags was missing. I opened the claim to Delta office and DCA, and I made a police report in DCA airport, but my bag was not found. On December 2022, we saw on the Fox News about Sam Brinton luggage issue, and saw my custom-made designs worn by Sam Brinton, which was in the missing bag back 2018. Oh my God, I was shocked. For more than 40 years, I work hard. On my work, it's very paining. Then I made another police report in Houston. They told me to wait for investigation. On January, somebody called me and introduced himself, and he told me he's working on my issue, but still today I had nothing. I was asking myself how this person got my custom-made designs, because it's one of a kind, and wear them without fear and display in public. I don't accuse him as a thief, but there is question to be answered here.
So this is Sam Brenton for everybody. This lunatic stole a Tanzanian custom designs and wore them out in public, and then was caught on camera. And she was like, you can't buy that anywhere. Those are mine. I made them. Like, these are the people that are claiming that we are weird. That JD Vance, with his normal family and his normal wife and normal kids, he's just so weird. He's just such a weird guy. Like, I mean, I don't understand. He doesn't have any riz. Yes, and someone mentioned earlier before, like, did they actually use the word riz? Yes, they did. They did use the word riz.
Yes, they did.
Like, I mean, just these people. I love it, dude. I love every minute of this stuff. Like, just like, please keep it up. If you think that people are gonna buy into this whole idea that for some strange reason people are gonna go and say, oh yes, JD Vance, the weird one, the very odd normal Midwestern guy that has a wife and 2 kids. Like, oh yes, very, very strange. And no one understands this guy. Like, yeah, okay, sure. just. I don't know what else to say. Just watching these people act as if this is something that is going to pan out for them is just amazing to me. But, you know, Karine Jean-Pierre has been all over the place now. She's talking about her book in all these different places, and we're still going down the same path of you know, there's no mental acuity problems. There's no problems with Joe Biden at all. Like, why do they keep bringing up Joe Biden in the first place? Like, you would think that they would just leave it alone now. Like, let the guy be the ghost of Christmas past. Like, just let him be gone. Like, just don't talk about him anymore. But no. They've got to write books, and they got to bring people out, and they got to keep talking to him. Like, I mean, I just don't know what they're doing. Like, it is amazing to me. And I hope that they keep talking about it, because every time someone brings up Joe Biden, everybody gets angry again. I don't think it actually is a benefit for them to actually bring up Joe Biden at all, but they keep doing it.
Yeah, they keep doing it. And F you if you don't see this as the best Joe Biden ever, as Joe Scarborough would say. I sent you one more clip. We could probably round out this KJP segment. Apparently, Caroline Leavitt absolutely cooked KJP.
Yes.
On,
I actually had this
Waters.
one saved as well, because this is fantastic. And Caroline Leavitt has been on a warpath here recently. And there's another bit on Caroline Leavitt, so we'll move into a Caroline Leavitt bit here in a second. So we can start it off with this, because this is her cooking the KJP here.
She called you deplorable, and you say?
Well, with all due respect to my predecessor, she is one of the main culprits of the greatest cover-up and scandal in American history. She took the podium every day and lied to the press about the incompetence of her boss. And on this book tour, she continues to lie. She said this past week that Joe Biden would still be up for the job if he had, God forbid, been reelected in November. She actually said this week as well on a podcast that Joe Biden did more press engagements than President Trump currently does now. Any person across the aisle can tell you that is a bald-faced lie. And I will just add, when you talk to the real journalists, not the ones who are actually activists that pose as journalists, but the people who actually care about truth, and there are some of those left in the White House press corps. I work with them every day. They will tell you the Trump White House is the most accessible and transparent White House ever. Not only does the president take questions from the press on a near daily basis, multiple times per day, as he did today, but we also provide truthful and accurate information about what this administration is doing and accomplishing. And it's a stark contrast to what they had over the past 4 years, where they were gaslit, where they were told Joe Biden was mentally stable and up for the job. That was a lie. Where they were told the administration was doing everything it could to secure the border. Also a lie. I'm very proud to work for the greatest president in history. I know Karine unfortunately worked for the most incompetent president in history, so I guess she has a reason to be bitter, but being bitter will not sell you books.
I wish they'd give it a little, let her finish, let her cook there. That was great. Caroline Leavitt has been cooking people for the past couple days. I don't know if you guys saw this bit from when she texted somebody from the Huffington Post. Did you guys see this? This is so great. I saw it. Yeah, I'll pull this up for you so you can hear what I'm talking about. So one of the Huffington Post reporters I don't know who he is. Some guy. I responded to his post talking about this the other day. He had some bit about how Caroline Levitt, he texted her a question and she just like told him he was an idiot, essentially. Like, let me see if I can find it. It might be a ways back
Oh,
on
I
her
do
page.
remember this. Yes.
Yes. Yeah. So let me see if I can find this real quick. Where
Well,
is
I
it?
wanted to add something.
Yeah,
I
here
wanted
it
to
is.
add something because Caroline did mention there how that it was one of the most transparent administration, and that's actually been verified by people who don't like me, the people that don't like us, that are still calling themselves journalists, and they work for major, high, powerful outfits, but they have never said that they didn't have access to Donald Trump or the administration anytime they ever requested it. They were on podcasts, they were doing various different events, and these clips surfaced all the time, and I was like, well, I can't believe that person just said that. That's crazy to me because they write hit piece after hit piece and fake stuff after fake stuff, yet they will always go out there. Even Cassie Hunt, who I'm looking at right now, because she's concerned about the $230 million for the lawsuit of the federal government from Donald Trump for his recovering his legal fees. But even she said it. They all say it. They all say it all the time. They said, oh, yeah. No. I mean, Trump himself will get back to me. And if he doesn't, somebody will. And somebody within the administration we're requesting will immediately get back to us. It is absolutely open and transparent. I'm not here like banging the drum for Trump. I'm simply pointing out the fact that everyone understands this.
Yes.
And it was quite the stark contrast from the previous administration.
Yeah, I mean, this is what's amazing to me when you hear them claim that Trump isn't like everybody knows that Trump is a far more transparent president. I mean, my favorite, I think there's a great clip. I wish some of these clips we just need to keep in the back burner for stuff like this. And it's when Trump was giving a press briefing a while back. And it's just him just standing up in the front of the podium, just riffing for, 30 minutes. And then he stops for a minute. He's like, well, what do you think? Should we just keep this thing going, guys? And all the journalists are like, yes, yay. Like they love him. They love him. Okay. Like they love this guy and they all love him and they all know it. And these people just get so mad. But anyway, so this is a guy from the Huffington Post here. So the Huffington Post, for those who are unaware of what a relic, useless, worthless organization this thing is, it used to be many, many years ago. It was a kind of a rising outlet that was kind of an independent group. And this is probably all the way back in like 2006, 2008. That era is when it first started showing up and first started actually like publishing real stories. But then just shortly after that, it became just another left-wing rag. I mean, that's all it's been. And now I can't tell you the last time I have read a Huffington Post article. Like I have no idea when the last time I read a Huffington Post article. And can anybody name a single piece of interesting news that the Huffington Post has published in the past, I don't know, 5 to 6 years? I mean, maybe anything?
Was it the Huffington Post? Who leaked the entire Steele dossier on accident into a news article? Was it HuffPost?
I think that was Washington Post or New York Times. I don't think that was HuffPost.
No. It was one of those. It was like HuffPost or one of the other digital ones. And they were supposed to be strategically leaking excerpts from the Steele dossier for the Trump-Russia collusion hoax. And instead, they printed the whole thing. And everyone was like, oh, my God. And that's what started to break it apart because they didn't strategically leak it all. I want to say it was Huffington Post.
Well, but even then, that's 10 years ago, dude. Like, I mean, that's the thing. Like,
Right.
It was someone just checked us here. It was BuzzFeed that did that. It was BuzzFeed that did that.
BuzzFeed. Thank you.
But by the way, BuzzFeed owns HuffPost, so I guess it's the same thing.
Right.
Like, I mean, whatever. But the deal is that so anyway, this text message chain that I have up on the screen here, and I'll make it a little bit bigger so people can see it. So this text message chain is from some journalist at the Huffington Post who sent Caroline Levitt a message. And the message is, so, is the president aware of the significance of Budapest in 1994? Russia promised in Budapest not to invade Ukraine. It gave up nuclear weapons and inherited the Soviet Union dissolved. Does he not see why Ukraine might object to that site? Who suggested Budapest? Thanks. And Caroline Levitt's response is beautiful here. It is, your mom did. Like...
Yes. I remember that.
Your mom did.
I love it.
Your mom did. Okay. And the guys
were... Did you see how they melted down over that?
Meltdown.
They lost their
Meltdown, dude. And so he says, is this funny to you? And her response is savage. It's just savage. It's funny to me that you actually consider yourself a journal. You are a far left hack who nobody takes seriously, including your colleagues in the media. They just don't tell you that to your face. Stop texting me your disingenuous, biased, and bullshit questions. Whew. I mean, just whew, 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 whew. I love it. I absolutely love it. Yes, I did vote for that. Like, I absolutely voted for that. I love seeing this stuff. To me, it's just it's so great. Just watching some of this stuff, watching how upset they are about these posts, about what they're saying. And, then, oh my God, this guy melted down about this. And I actually responded to one of the guys melting down about it. I think it was the SV Date guy, or whoever the hell he is. I responded to him earlier and was just ripping him because, like, no one cares. Okay, no one cares about the Huffington Post. Like, no one cares about the Huffington Post. No one's cared about the Huffington Post for a long time. I can't remember, again, the last time that Huffington Post was even remotely relevant. Like, I don't know the last big piece of news they broke. I don't know anybody that reads them. I've never once had somebody send me one of their articles like, did you see this today? Did you see what was in the Huff Post today? Oh my God. Like, no, that doesn't happen.
The story they broke, it was so breaking. It was breaking of breaking. It was so amazing. No, it was like some kind of like, what cat are you quiz?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Like, no one cares about these people at all, but they still live in this world where they think that they're important. Yeah, so this is the post that I responded to. So, like, he's crying about it. So I just, like, whoever you are, like, no one needs to discredit the Huffington Post, okay? Like, and that's what his argument. I stopped reading. He's got like a 20 post thread talking about this, like, crying about this, just losing his mind. And he says, here's some context. I've been doing this professionally for years, and she tried to discredit me in the Huffington Post. Like, no, she didn't have to discredit the Huffington Post. You're not a credible person. Like, you're not a credible organization. That's why they're firing all of you, okay? If those don't know, Huffington Post has had to lay off like 30 plus people this year. Okay, so they're on our wall of fired journalists. Like, where we have a bit on this show where you can support for $275,000 a year. You can support a fired New York Times or Washington Post journalist. That is something we offer. You do have to move them into your house though. So just be aware, if you want to take part in this offer, it is very expensive, but they also require a room within your home. But if you don't want to do that, you can also get milk cartons sent to you that shows you before and after, before they were fired and then after they were fired. And the after they were fired photos are much better. They're much better photos. They are more expensive, but they are much better photos. So that is something we do offer on this show. But these are the people that we add to this stuff because no one cares. Like, no one cares about you, SV Date. Like, no one knows who you are. No one reads your articles. No one reads the Huffington Post. Not one person that I can think of with any merit or any interesting journalistic integrity has talks about the Huffington Post on a regular basis. Like, I used to read probably 12 to 15 newspapers a day. Okay. Like, and this is probably, 5 or 6 years ago, I was reading about 12 to 15 newspapers a day. Now, I don't even read probably 4 newspapers a day, but even when I was reading all of them, like when I was reading tons of newspapers a day, Huffington Post was never even remotely in that list. Okay, like, I don't care. There's nothing interesting in on that website. There's no interesting articles coming out of that group. They don't have anything interesting to say. All it is just more left-wing crap. And if you want to do that, there's 15 other sites that do that, and they don't publish anything interesting. I've actually wondered in recent years, I've wondered if the only reason they even publish this stuff and why there's so many of them is just so they can dilute the AIs so that the AIs intentionally become more left-wing. Like, I actually believe that that's part of the reason they do that, which if you see what Elon's talking about with Wikipedia and how it's become such a problem that they're actually building their own version of Wikipedia so they can get some of the propaganda out of it, I actually wouldn't be surprised if that is the reason that they do it. But the fact that these people are coming out of here crying as if oh my goodness, we've discredited. I mean, look at this thing. Look at this ridiculously drawn out long thing talking about, oh my God, all of my impressive career as a journalist. And then he just goes into how much I hate Trump. Trump is the worst. He is the worst person ever. It's like, dude, they're firing everybody that works for you. Okay, works in the same company as you. And the reason they're firing them is because no one reads you. No one reads the Huffington Post. Okay, no one cares. No one cares what you say. Okay, like I would love to know the traffic between, like, do a comparison. Okay, do a comparison of Breitbart and Huffington Post and tell me who gets more traffic. I think if Huffington Post has 1/5 of Breitbart's traffic, I would be shocked. Like, I would be legitimately shocked if that was the case, if they had 1/5 of Breitbart's traffic.
I gotta admit, I've actually been relatively pleasantly surprised with Fox News Digital and Brooke Singman. She's been breaking a lot of stories. She's actually done a great job over there at Fox News Digital.
Yeah, I
They,
will
they,
say
they
Fox Digital has been solid in the past couple years,
yeah,
dude.
it's
They
been
have been.
good.
Yeah, they've been really good. I actually read them on a regular basis, actually. Like, they've got good op-eds in there. They've got decent stories. Like, I actually think Fox News Digital is pretty good.
Yeah, and
That's one of the
I'm
ones
not
I
a
still
big
read.
proponent of any legacy media, to be honest with you. Like I read stories and I'm like, yeah, I already knew that. I already had here. By the way, here's all the stuff. I could have supported your story if you didn't known about me. Wall Street Journal, same kind of thing. I think they've always been okay.
The
I don't know.
Journal, I used to read the Journal on a regular basis. I
Yeah.
did. I used to actually like the Journal, but then after what's his name stepped down, after why can't I think of his name? Murdoch,
Well, he
Rupert
went over
Murdoch.
to Washington Post,
After
right?
Rupert Murdoch stepped down out of the Wall Street
Oh,
Journal,
right.
out of the Wall Street
Yeah.
Journal, like, I stopped really paying a whole lot of attention to them, because the only real reason that I read the Wall Street Journal on a regular basis was their editorial board was fantastic. It used to be
Yes, it was.
amazing. It was fantastic. You could read I probably read at least an op-ed a day from the Wall Street Journal on a regular basis. They kind of fallen off here recently. And in fact, I think I ended up canceling them because of their ridiculous Epstein's article, where they're like, Trump drew a picture and wrote a note to Epstein in 1996 or some nonsense. And I was like, okay, look, I don't need more than one fake newspaper. I already subscribe to the New York Times. Okay. Like, I don't need more than one fake newspaper. Like, I already subscribe to one fake newspaper where I just go on there just to see what your terrible headlines are for the day. I don't need two. So I don't know. But
Yeah,
the Journal used to be really good.
It used to be. I mean, in my opinion, it was the closest thing that I could find for a very long time to down the middle reporting. And other than people like Matt Taibbi, people like that, it was actual down the middle reporting. It just is what it is. The story's the story, and it's irrelevant how you feel about it, or you're welcome to feel any way you want about it. But at least it was like, I don't know, like down the middle, but like it was just like middle of the road reporting. It was just, here's the facts, here's what we got, and that's the kind of stuff that I don't mind reading. I'll think for myself. Thank you. I don't need you to think for me. That is a very insulting thing to do. I wish they hadn't fallen off so much. And now, for a long time there was a group of many of us on X and Twitter where we were putting out threads and stories. We're actually telling stories. They were actually getting picked up and things were happening. And now, with monetization and just this overwhelming attack and people like making these threads and threats and doxing and everything, you can't even get straight stories on here anymore either. It's completely just been wrecked, and then the algorithm obviously has a problem. But I feel like I think we can get back to straight reporting. And yes, it's going to take a little while, but it seems to be headed that direction, and it seems to be a lot of people now are finally feeling it monetarily. I mean, we just saw the story. How many people are up on the chopping block at NBC News and CBS and
Yeah, I mean, MSNBC
ABC?
just announced 100 people are going to
Yep.
be laid off for that was just a few days ago. I mean, this is the deal. Like, all of these legacy outlets are firing everybody because their viewerships are just dropping through the floor. And everybody knows that the moment that the Trump administration came in and they cut all these subscriptions to like Politico because for whatever reason, the taxpayers were giving subsidy to Politico at the tune of like $8,000 a month. How much was that? Like Politico Pro or something like that? It was some absurd number. It was like $1,000 a month or $8,000 a month or something. And there was like tons of them. Like, it was so for some stupid, like, what exactly does Politico have and they called it, what did they call it? Granular fact-based reporting. Like, and it was like, and someone showed me what some of the stuff on that, like on the pro version of their website was. It's like stuff you saw on Twitter like a week ago. Like, I mean, like, what the hell?
That's
like,
right.
That's right. It's so stupid.
That's right.
It's so stupid.
And we all knew, like, going into like election cycles and stuff, like, if we wanted to know what the Democrats were talking about, the narratives they're trotting out, just go read Political Playbook. It'll show you. That's essentially was the genesis point. The jumping off point was Political Playbook was essentially going to show you what the narratives they were going to try to set and use for the week or for the day from the Democrat side of things. And so it's fascinating how all that stuff worked out. But in this age of vacuum and information vacuum, and in these wild PR and influence op campaigns that are going on like crazy on social media, we're going to have a push. Like we talked about this on this show quite a bit. We're like, it wouldn't be bad to have a legacy media that told the truth. We actually kind of want that because, again, there's people that only rely on that. I would like it to be merit based, and the better the stories, the more true and down the middle the stories are, the better they're received by the public. And there's kind of in a free for all right now, and the Democrats are in a free for all right now. Even when Bill Maher sounds like a Republican, you know it's a problem. When Stephen A. Smith sounds like a Republican, you know they're in deep shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, and this is the deal. I mean, at some point, there's going to have to be a major reset or something for media in general. And I still think that the way that it's really working now is that, you know, real journalists now are just, they create their own platform, they build their own platform, build their own audience, and the people that actually stick with it and actually keep up with it and try their best to present as much information, because it's so competitive. Like, it's so competitive to be able to have a show, to be able to do regular content, to be able to publish on X and actually get a following on X. Like, it's not like how it used to be where you could just like randomly get 100,000 followers really, really quickly on X for doing nothing. Like, you have to work your ass off to be able to actually get anything out on X anymore. Like, to be able to build an audience and actually build a platform at all, it takes a lot of work. And I see that the real journalists are, most of them have Substacks. Like, most of the best journalists on anywhere now, they all have their own Substack, they all have their own website, they all have their own platform, and they're building it up. And sure, I still think that there'd be a opportunity for some version of like a legacy outlet to come out here and say, okay, we're going to go hire real journalists and pay them. That would be an effective business strategy, and I don't know why no one has done it yet. That's what and the only thing that it tells me, though, the reason that someone hasn't done that yet is because the model just must not be profitable trash. Like, it can't be. That's the only reason it hasn't done, like that someone hasn't done it yet, is because the model of paying a bunch of journalists several $100,000 a year, unless you're one of these big legacy outlets that just has that name brand or something, like I just don't think you can make any money doing it. Like, I don't think you can, because it's too competitive on the individual scale. Like, I mean, the only thing that would be close to it would probably be like Town Hall. Like, Town Hall is probably the closest you're going to get to it. But what they really do is they've got like an aggregate form. Like, they have their tip sheet every day, and they've got op-eds every day. And like, but even that, like, I don't know if those, like, I don't know how they pay those journalists at all. Like, I don't know if they have like staff writers or how that operates for Town Hall. But I mean, I read Town Hall on a regular basis, but majority of the time I do it. And if it was the day that I couldn't read X, like, I would go to Town Hall because it's got a bunch of the tip sheet, and someone else read X for me, essentially, is what it is. Like, that's what they really do well. But I don't know what these other legacy outlets, like, I mean, there's so many people that work for like the New York Times. It's like, has anybody ever even read any of your articles? Like, what do you write about? Like, in the best way to see this is if you go to like Apple News, okay, pull up Apple News. And just, if you've never messed with Apple News, like, it's got like this feature where it'll pull up and show like the news of the day, and just scroll for a minute. Like, there are so many worthless articles that I guarantee you nobody is reading. Like it takes you, like, if you're actually going to use it effectively, you actually have to like intentionally block a ton of websites because there's so many advertisements. It's like home and garden and crap. Like, there's so much useless stuff on Apple News that it's almost impossible to actually read it. Like, I don't understand the purpose of this stuff. There's no way that people read, like, that many people actually read some of these articles. Like, it's just not possible unless it's intentionally pushed into their algorithm right there for them to see. And I assume people have to pay for that. Like, I don't know how it works, because I don't know for any reason why anyone would read any of this stuff.
Yeah, I don't know either, and it's a shame. There's probably some good reporting that kind of goes to the wayside a little bit, and so you're right. It probably is the model. What a lot of people have done. And these are more personalities. They actually hire their team of researchers, and a lot of them have been plucking talent from social media, and especially from X, for a long time. I know several people that work for people with large brands. All they do is essentially do the hard stuff, the research that we all do, the stuff that we put out. They do that for them, and they're paid that way, and then they can create stories and generate stories out of that. That's one way. But you're right. I don't. I mean, if you look at the key demo, like, this is why Jimmy Kimmel, as an example, that's not really a news show. It acts as a comedy show, and LARPing as propaganda. I mean, LARP is a comedy show while it's actually propaganda, not even news. But 129,000 in the key demo, and that ain't paying any bills, especially for a multi-million-dollar annual budget. I mean, Stephen Colbert was losing $40 million a year. Nobody's watching this stuff.
Yep.
So you can make it interesting. I think, yeah, I think Town Hall has always done it interesting, especially when they incorporated like PJ Media and Twitchy and the other reporting and some of the personalities like Larry O'Connor, many people like that, plus all the actual reporting. I think Town Hall's got a good mix, a good blend. I think they're doing it right. I hope they get to stay around. But
I think Town Hall. I
otherwise,
think Town Hall is one of the ones that's actually going to make it. Like I think Town Hall is doing just
I think
fine.
so too.
And part of the reason they do that is because they let you, like, their op-ed section is fantastic. Like they've always got new op-eds from different writers all over the place that are in there. They've actually got decent content. The tip sheet is probably one of the best things on the internet. Like, I mean, just go to the Town Hall, go check out their tip sheet. It's fantastic. If you did not see the news for the day, tip sheet probably has the news for the day. And it's the actual news. Like, it's the actual stuff that it matters that has happened today. It is good stuff. So, I mean, I think that's a model that works. Breitbart's still doing fine. But, you know, Gateway Pundit does the same sort of thing. And there are good journalists out there that publish stuff, but there's so many of these left-wing rags that, like, how many articles can you write about how much you hate Trump? How many? How is it possible that you've written your 400th article about Trump and people are still reading it? Like, I just don't. I don't like. I think that those websites are eventually they're just going to have to go out of business. There's no, and maybe they don't have to go out of business. Maybe they just fire everyone. And like, if you guys remember, the Washington Post actually said that they're going to start bringing in AI editors. Like, so they're not even going to write their own articles. They're just going to have AI create it for them. And they'll have like 6 people that work for them. So I assume some of these websites, like maybe that's how it'll work for them. They'll have like 3 people that work in the entire company. And then they just AI publish everything else. Like, I guess that's probably what they'll end up doing. And maybe maybe that'll somehow keep them afloat for a couple years until everyone realizes that nothing that they say is interesting. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm with you. And like I said, I mean, I do like the tip sheet as well. I also, if you guys haven't followed, Bongino Report's still going on. That's a really good one. Back when we lost the aggregators like Drudge Report when it went completely sideways. Aggregators are great. This is kind of what I wanted to kind of create a little bit. We obviously been doing the political theater, so I haven't really had time to focus on anything else. But I really did kind of want to build an aggregator a little bit. That's how I use social media. It's why I follow whom I follow and bookmark what I bookmark and keep what I keep is all of its aggregation. Let me decide for myself what's going on, but I need to aggregate stuff so I can, talk about it intelligently or semi-intelligently, whatever your opinion is of me. But yeah, I mean, I rely on stuff. Sheet, Bongino Report, Drudge Report used to be great. Now it's absolute hot garbage.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, it really is. But guys, all right, so we're at the hour point. So we'll be back in about 5 minutes. We got a short break here real quick, and then we're going to get back and we're going to talk about Virginia because there's a lot going on in Virginia. Guys, this is the Political Theater, weeknights at 9, Trash Discourse, Walter Kurt. Make sure you guys follow us on X, and we'll be right back in about 5 minutes. Thanks, guys. All right, guys, and we are back. So this is the Political Theater, guys. Thank you guys for joining us this evening. This is hour 2 of the Political Theater. So we are going to go into Virginia now because there is obviously a ton to talk about going on down there. The entire Democrat Party has been mobilized. Before we do that, though, guys, make sure you guys share this link out. Make sure you guys share the space out if you're listening on X or if you're listening on YouTube and wherever you're listening to this show. Make sure you guys share it out. If you guys are listening to us on Apple or Spotify, make sure you guys give us a review there. That really does help. And if you want to support this show, the best way you can do so is go to WCDispatch.com and subscribe there, or you can subscribe on X at WCDispatch and at Trash Discourse. There are both subscription options available on X and on, I think, Apple, Spotify. I don't know if Spotify has a subscription option left available or not yet, but we're also now sponsored by the Wellness Company. So make sure you guys go check out the Wellness Company, and that's twc.health. And use code TPT at checkout, and you will get 10% off your order. They've got all sorts of great products there, guys. So make sure you guys go check them out. You can go get emergency kits. You can get all sorts of stuff from these people. I highly recommend them. They've got a bunch of great products. So, guys, so make sure you check them out, and we're going to continue on here. So Virginia has been very interesting over the past couple of days because, obviously, the Democrats are just absolutely losing their minds. That Spanberger might not be doing so well. Of course, they'll tell you that they're doing well. But at the same time, they've got, the entire Democrat Party has been mobilized out here to try and save Abigail Spanberger's campaign. And this clip that was talking about the Jay Jones stuff came out today, and it is just not good. Like, it's just so bad that they cannot seem to get themselves away from this stuff. They are a complete disaster zone in every single way. So this is Abigail Spanberger complaining about the fact that the Jay Jones text messages came out in the first place and that she had to talk about them. Oh, my goodness, end of days that she even had to bring it up. But this is the attitude that they really have. And this is what we actually said at the very beginning of this, is that they're not actually upset about the fact that the Jay Jones said those things. They're upset that they had to respond to it, okay? That's the only thing that they cared about. It doesn't matter to him that he said that he wants his political enemies to die in their children to die in their mother's arms. That's not why they're upset. The only reason that they're upset is because they had to respond to it, that they even had this problem happen in the first place. And you heard a little bit of it. Like she almost said it during the debate. She was like, well, you guys just held on to it for so long. That's the reason you're upset about it. Like, I mean, okay, calm down here. Like, I mean, listen, lady, like the real reason you're upset is because you even have to say anything in the first place. And I think that's what she says here, Trash. Is this the clip that you sent me?
Oh, yeah, it's bad.
Yeah. Okay, so let's check this out here. So this is Abigail Spanberger. And when was this interview? Do you have any idea? This must have been recent.
I think it had to be recent because both the Winsome Sears official account put it out, and Greg Price got a hold of it. So typically Greg Price is not going to put out old content. It could be. I just don't think so. I think it's recent.
Okay, so let's check it out and see what she has to say here.
If I'm being very honest, we are 3 weeks away from an election in Virginia. I have worked tirelessly for 2 years running for this office. I announced in November 2023. The fact that I say this with all due respect because, I think it's a fair thing for you to ask about. The fact that I have to spend even a moment's time talking about somebody else's text messages from years ago rather than what I want to do as governor is something that I am deeply unhappy about. The fact that I can't spend every minute of the day talking about the plans that I have built out, not to be too hokey about it, but like my multiple pages of plans, my affordability plan, my education plan, my growing our economy plan, because of the, poor choices of another candidate, it is something that really clouds my view of all of it. And so, what we, the collective, we would have done, had this information come to light much earlier, I will say this, I would be much, much happier as a candidate if I could just talk about all of the things that I am for.
Wow. I had not seen that yet. That is atrocious. That
is bad.
Oh, my goodness. Just play that whole thing on an ad. You don't even need an ad. Like, you don't even need an ad. Just play that. Like, just play that. I am so mad that I have to talk about this. How dare you peasants making me speak about things that I don't like talking about? How dare you? I mean, she might as well have been. Guys, we need the whoever was watching with this camera here. You need to zoom out. Did she have a notebook on the table? Okay, we want to know. We need to know if the notebook. If we want to know if that notebook survived. Did the notebook survive the interview? Was it there? Because you can just look at the look on her face. I mean, even in this still shot here at the end. I mean, this is the true attitude of this woman. Oh my God, these peasants are making me talk about Jay Jones. How dare you? This is exactly what the point is. These people are the worst. Okay, like she is so terrible. This woman has no interest in this. She doesn't care about Jay Jones, what he said. I have to spend even 1 second talking about it. And by the way, there's another way that you can tell that she's flailing about. And this is something I've told people before. Okay, when you have to go out as a candidate and you start talking about all of your plans that are on like a website or your binder or wherever the hell you have them, no one cares about your plans. Okay, they don't. I'd love for us to live in a country where people actually cared about your plan for the future. No one cares. Okay, that's not how elections work. That's not how the world works. No one cares about your plans. Okay, no one cares if you've got 400 pages of plans on your website and that you've got all the most detail-oriented plans on your website. That means that you have nothing to talk about. Okay, if you want to talk about your plans that someone else wrote for you, that someone put on your website, you want to talk about your affordability, whatever the hell it is, none of that crap matters to people, okay? Answer the questions that people care about. And obviously the questions that people care about right now is what's up with Jay Jones and why have you still not rescinded your endorsement of him? But instead she sits here and grinds her teeth. Oh my God, I have to talk about this. Why are you asking me questions about something as trivial as someone calling for the deaths of the children of his political opponents so they move on policy? Like, yeah, lady, look, sorry, people care about what they care about. You're not going to change people's minds about what they care about just because you don't like that we're discussing it. That's not how the world works. Okay, so you can be upset about it all you want, but yeah, sorry, you're going to have to talk about it. You're going to have to.
Hey, Walt, can I ask you a question here?
What's that?
Comes to mind. There's a question burning in my soul when I look through my plans that I don't get to talk about. But this question is, if things were really that good for her, would she be saying those things in an interview? If things were really that good for her, would they be sending in the top level Democrats into Virginia into that race? She seems like she's not having a good time. And so I don't know what fairy dust and unicorn farts they're sprinkling all over the place. But if you're to that point, 3 weeks out of a race, saying those things into a camera, it must be bad.
It has to be. And this is the point. So, like, if you guys know anything about political campaigns, typically speaking, you can tell who's going to win a campaign, and it's who's having fun on the campaign trail. Normally, like that's normally how it works. Like whatever candidate, when you look at them, if they're out there on the campaign trail and they're having fun and they're laughing and they're joking and they're having a good time and they're talking to people and they've got a smile on their face. Did this woman smile once in this whole interview? Like, I mean, I don't think she was probably breaking pencils in half while she's sitting there. She's furious. Okay, like this is a rage burger. Okay, so Abigail Rageburger is very upset, and she can go out and I'm sure she has lots of rage to let her fuel her. But the deal is, I don't think that anybody's interested. Okay, like no one cares that you're mad that these text messages came out. That's not relevant to people. You're the ones that didn't rescind your endorsements. You stepped in your own problem. That's what's amazing about this. You created the problem by not reducing your endorsement and not rescinding your endorsement the day it happened. And you continue to have it be a problem by not dropping it. Like you could have fixed the problem within 24 hours of Jay Jones having this issue. You should have said, okay, no, he's got to drop out of the race. Sorry, we're not going to win the attorney general's race in Virginia. It's over. Get out. You got to leave. But no, they didn't do that. And now you're mad that we're going to ask you about it? Sorry, that doesn't play. Like it doesn't matter. In this kind of interview, no one looked at this interview and watched this face just through this furious anger, rage-ridden face throughout this whole interview here. Like, I mean, just there's no happiness in this woman's face here. She is furious. Look at her gritting her teeth. There we go. There's a good still right there. Do you think this still, like, just look at this photo, this image here. This is how this woman feels right now. Does this look like a happy candidate to you that's winning the race? This doesn't look like a happy candidate. Okay, this looks like a woman that would rip your head off the moment that she got out of the interview and slap you for making her sit down and talk about text messages. Like she is losing her mind. And all of these people have caused this problem for themselves, and they continue to have it be an issue, and they're just mad that people were even discussing how dare you? We need to get Greta Thunberg. We need to have that ready to go. How dare you? How dare you ask me about those text messages? How dare you?
Down in the comments, everyone's calling her Greta Spamberger now.
Greta Oh my Greta. Oh, that's great. How dare you? Yeah. I mean, that's brilliant. We need to just go ahead and do that. So, all right. So memers in the chats, you guys on both the chats, on all of the different streams here. If whatever you're at, if you come up with a meme of Abigail Spanberger, somehow is Greta Thunberg, please send those directly to the show and we'll put them on the screen like immediately. That sounds like a great idea. We've got one leftist in the comment section on one of our streams that's saying she looks fine. Oh, really? Are you sure? Are you positive she looks fine to you? That photo right there, this still that I have up, that looks like happiness to you. I feel bad for you. Okay, like if you think this looks like a happy, very well balanced woman that's not losing her mind, then I don't know. I really would not like to be sitting with you at any table anywhere. But anyway, so this is what they're doing, though. They're freaking out and they're losing their minds, and they've got the whole Democrat Party organized and mobilized to try and come out and save her. And I don't think it's going to work. Like, do you think trotting Obama out and Pete Buttigieg? Oh, yes, Pete Buttigieg, the chest feeder extraordinaire. I'm not sure that he's going to save your ticket. Like, I don't think that's going to help. Obama, by the way, is like 5-0, or 0-5 for candidates he's endorsed that have lost. So I don't think that's going to help either. But this is what's going on here. And, I don't know. From what I see the opposite reaction happening on the Winsome campaign. I see Winsome out here having a good time, essentially. She's having fun. And by the way, she was on with Scott Jennings talking about this. So this is on the phone, but we'll go ahead and listen to a little bit of this here. This is Winsome Sears on Scott Jennings' radio show talking about this, talking about her moment in the campaign. And this is what Winsome had to say on it.
You had a very strong debate. I think you bested Spanberger. I'm still kind of stunned at her just standing there stone-faced, emotionless, as you appeal to her about this issue of political violence and what's going on underneath her in her own political party.
That's why I'm wondering why my opponent won't say beyond its abhorrent and disgusting, why she won't say it is not okay and that he must leave the race because Jay Jones advocated the murder, Abigail, the murder of a man, a former speaker, as well as his children who were 2 and 5 years old. You have little girls. What would it take him pulling the trigger? Is that what would do it? And then you would say he needs to get out of the race? Abigail, you have nothing to say? Abigail. What if he said it about your 3 children? Is that when you would say he should get out of the race, Abigail?
That was really good. I remember watching that.
Kind of take us into that moment for a minute. You had an incredibly powerful, emotional moment, and she was just caught flat-footed, which was shocking to all of us.
Yeah, the media, they love her. The mainstream media, they love her. She is one of them, and so they keep putting their finger on the scale for her. They built her up to be this juggernaut. It's this unbeatable, just absolute wonderful sliced bread, wonderful everything person. And then we found out that she's human after all, because we saw she broke. She broke at the debate on very simple questions, which is one of them was your little girl comes to you crying, saying that she was forced to undress in front of a naked man in the locker room, which, by the way, you voted for, Abigail. What are you going to say to her? What are you going to say? And she said nothing. But remember, one of her little girls was sitting right there in the debate, in the audience. Talk to her. She's crying. Tell her. Abigail said nothing. And then, of course, we went on and we talked about, of course, Jay Jones, her attorney general nominee from the Democratic Party. He's advocated for murder of his political opponent. And by the way, called the wife of his political opponent, a breeder of fascists, little fascists. I mean, what? In the Democratic Party, wait for it, Scott, that loves everybody more than Republicans and tolerates everybody more than Republicans. Where are you all? Where is the love that you're supposed to be showing? No love. My opponent, Abigail, made political calculations, and she doesn't have the backbone. She doesn't have the strength of character that we need to be governor.
Well, there's the winsome I've been looking for.
That's right.
The one.
That's right.
That's the one.
And that's going. So that was her on Scott Jennings' radio show. This fire is what we like. Okay. And then this is the attitude of someone that is clearly confident that they're actually doing well. Okay. Like, do you hear any of that confidence in Abigail Spanberger's last one that we were just playing a second ago, where she's gritting her teeth?
But she has papers.
Oh, that's right. All my plans. I'm just, let me get these plans out. There's just, and by the way, I'm surprised she didn't just start ripping those plans up right there on the stage, just start tearing them to pieces. Like, I mean, this woman is so furious. Like, she cannot believe that people are asking her questions. She can't believe it. She's shocked that people are asking her questions.
This is like Hillary Clinton level tweeting out, happy birthday to this future president of a childhood photo of hers, and then her just ripping up plans and papers and gritting her teeth, and Donald Trump is a Russian plant. And I mean, she's acting like Hillary. I got to be honest with you. Like, she's not having a good time at all. Like,
no, she's just not. Okay. Like, and I'm just going to leave this image up on the screen while we talk about her, because it's such a perfect representation. This snarling, vicious, oh my God, you peasants making me talk about things. I love this photo. So, but listen to me. All of the problems that they have is, again, it's self-inflicted. It's self-inflicted stuff. And the other issue that they have is obviously all these Northern Virginia schools. And the Northern Virginia school stuff is not going away either. Okay, like, it's not going to go away just because you don't want people to talk about it, Abigail. Like, it's not going away, Abigail. Abby, oh, sweetheart. And, like, it's not going away. We're not stopping. We're not going to just stop talking about things because you want us to stop talking about them. Like, oh, my goodness. The Democrats don't want us to talk about this anymore, guys. Should we just stop? What do you guys think in the chat? You guys, we've got all these different chats here. What do you guys think? Josie, no one cares what you have to say on here. You don't even live in America. But who else? Like, in any of the chats, what do you think we should just stop talking about it? Like, should we just, they don't like it, guys. I guess we give it up. We give it up. We don't talk about it. We'll talk about what they want to talk about, which is what exactly? The plans? Is that what we're going to talk about? We're talking about Abby's plans. Like, is that what? Let's all talk about Abigail's plans. All the plans, like
many plans.
I have the best plans. It's at least a 7 to 8 page bind, like the notebook that I brought with me, and I haven't ripped it up yet. So it's a good plan to talk about. So let's just talk about plans. No one else wants to talk about anything else. We can't talk about all the problems that we're having. By the way, Obama's endorsed me. Did you see Obama endorse me? I have 4 photos of me with black children on my Twitter post right now. Like, can't you see all my props? I have all my props out. I'm not racist. Like, I mean, these people are the funniest people in the world to me. Like, and by the way, for those who don't know what I'm talking about, I'll pull up some of the photos from Abigail Spanberger's recent Twitter post. Like, if you think she's doing well with minorities, I just want you to go and look at some of these photos. Like, here you go. Here's one of them, okay? I'll put this up on the screen here just so people can see. This is her with her most recent props, and she's just, like, holding the hand of a little black child, like, just like, oh, my goodness, do you see me? Do you see me with the minorities? I love the minorities. This is so desperate, okay? Like, it is such desperation, and they've had so many problems with the racism stuff that's come out from their own party. Like, for those who forgot, the Democrat Party they also released some ridiculously racist meme from one of their official accounts. Like, it's just like, you guys are not making this better, okay? These photos don't look good, okay? Like, publishing photos of you shaking the hands of black children, and every photo that you have, every still photo is you hugging a black person or standing with a black person. None of this stuff, this doesn't look good. Okay, this just makes it look like you're having issues with the minority voters, so you're making sure that every photo that you take and put online is you with the minority voters. Like, I mean, it's not going to convince people, because you had one of your own canvassers show up with a frickin' sign that said blacks can't use the water fountains. Okay, people remember the sign. They don't remember you with your props and all your photos. Okay, people remember the sign. Okay, everyone knows this. Like, everyone forgets that, and this is how you know that they're doing really bad with them, was when after that sign went viral, one of the co-founders of BET donated $500,000 to Winsome Sears' campaign. Okay, so that's what's really going on. So that's what's actually happening. And while you're getting all your donations from Reid Hoffman, she's getting donations from normal people and people that are actually, actual minority groups are donating to her. I think she's going to overperform in the minority groups. I think she really is. I think she's going to really rock that, and that's going to completely blow the Democrats' power structure if Winsome actually does that.
I think so too. She's just so mad that the consultant workshopped, snapshots that they're trying to build with these pictures, and no one's asking me about my plans. You guys are just asking me about this asshole who also has a Democrat badge, about him wanting to kill the kids of his political opponent. Why aren't you asking me about my plans? I'm like, well, this in the era of rising violence, and we're going to play some stuff tonight. Which, by the way, Chris Cuomo got a caller from David from Austin, Texas tonight. Didn't go well. They seem to be wanting more violence, and Chris Cuomo pushed back on that. We should play that later when we get into this conversation. But yeah, no, it's kind of important, Abigail. And here's the thing: she could have right away. She could have said, "I'm not actually going to stand for anybody in a party that I represent wanting to kill the children and urinate on ashes and graves and kill the children of a political opponent I disagree with. I think that he should. I think that he should leave the race, and I want to work very hard for all Virginians who are blue or red or purple in this state to get things done. Part of my agenda is X, Y, and Z." She literally could have done that, and I don't think Winston would have had a chance. And she didn't do it. And this is how stupid they are. And they're so workshopped into consultants and what they're going to do and how they're going to talk about things. And like, well, I mean, you could lose a point or two there if you do that. So, it's getting a little tight. I wouldn't recommend doing that. Honestly, the opposite actually happened. And she should have to answer those questions. And the more angry she looks and the more ridiculous things that she says, both in front of the camera, in front of the debates, and obviously on the trail, like let your rage fuel you, as an example, in a time of rising political violence, specifically coming from her side of the aisle, whether they will tell you the truth or not. They always say it's coming from over here. I'm like, it's just not. Yeah, that's a serious problem. And that is unfortunately your number one issue, because none of you are going out there telling your side of the aisle to calm the F down. None of you are doing it. None of you. And the only people that do, the rest of them are watching what's happened, like a John Fetterman or like, a Stephen A. or like a Bill Maher. They're getting completely like wrecked. They're coming after them, attacking them, and rise with threats of political violence against them. And they're on the same side of the ball game. Again, she could have handled this, and she didn't. And she makes her completely incapable. And it shows what an absolute intel asset, community stooge, Democrat shill that she would be, being governor for Virginia. And it won't turn out well for the kids and the trans is BS and the girls and men and girls locker rooms all across Virginia. You will set yourself back at least a decade on the movement of positivity towards getting rid of that stuff. So, Virginia, I hope you show up and show out and go vote.
Well, and I love this. Someone, so one of our stream listeners here, this is from Hillary. She said that all she needs is a bottle of hot sauce in her purse. Yes, actually. Yes, that's accurate. I'm surprised she hasn't said that yet. I'm surprised she hasn't.
One of my favorites.
I love that one, though. It's so good. I'm surprised she hasn't said that yet.
I ain't no ways tired or the hot sauce in the purse. Those are the two best Hillary moments.
Yes, I love it. I love it. And again, I like, so this is another thing that came out today. So for those who know John Reed, John Reed is the lieutenant governor candidate for the Republicans in Virginia. Did you see this today, Trash? So, for those who are not aware, the lieutenant governor candidate on the Democrat side, Hashmi, she is this ridiculous Islamist lunatic. And she has refused to debate John for the entire campaign. She won't debate him. So what did John do? John did this today. This is brilliant. I love this. He came out and he had a debate versus an empty podium. Like, it's just hysterical. It is a great move. I thought it was hysterical. So I'll just play a little bit of this here. This is so funny that he did this. I thought it was a good move.
Senator Hashmi says that the general public doesn't understand labor law. It's clear that she doesn't understand economics. And when she's advocating doing away with the right to work, she is advocating crushing the working class in Virginia. How do I know this? Her own party used to agree. Chuck Robb, Jerry Beliles, Doug Wilder, even Mark Warner and Tim Kaine, all Democrat governors advocated for the right to work, which means that the worker decides whether they join a union or not. It means that the worker decides whether money is taken out of their paycheck and siphoned off to the labor union, which, by the way, then goes to some nefarious political activities that many people wouldn't agree with. I stand with the working people of Virginia. I want the person who goes to work every day to make that decision for themselves. That's important for the working people. It's important for businesses. If we're bringing businesses to Virginia, the reason they're coming is not just that we have a beautiful beachfront and we have the mountains. It's because they can do business here without being dictated to by a labor boss from New Jersey. And Senator Hashmi is advocating changing that law to a point where no one will want to come to Virginia, and we will lose businesses to Tennessee, which, by the way, doesn't have an income tax. So we're giving up the number one reason that businesses come to Virginia, the northernmost state with the right to work. And it is a reckless and irresponsible decision. I suspect that Senator Hashmi actually knows that, and her friends at the labor unions will reward her for this position that she's taking. I will always stand with the working.
So for those who are just listening to this is a great move by John Reed for more than one reason. One, it was just a good comment. But two, while he's talking about this, he constantly looks over to his left, right? So he's looking over to his left, and it's an empty podium, and he's just got a TV screen with Hashmi's face there. Then she's just completely blank. So it's just an empty podium, and he's just turning to the podium, and he's like, and Hashmi here. And he's just looking over here, and there's no one there. It's so funny. Like, this is a great move. Like, I just think you won't debate. You won't debate. And the reason they won't debate is because they're 2-0 in debates. I mean, Jay Jones got slaughtered in his debate, and Winsome blew Abigail Spanberger out of the water and made herself a major figure as a result of that. So as a result of this, they won't bring her out because it would be the same result. It would be the exact same result, and everybody knows it. So what do? John's like, well, if you're not going to debate me, then I guess I'll just have a debate anyway, and I'll invite you to it, and I'll tell you when it is and all this. So he just stood at a podium and debated an empty podium, and I thought that was hysterical. What a great idea. If you're not going to debate, then fine, I'll have a debate with the podium, and since you're not here, I guess I get just to fill in what you're saying. And I think it's effective, honestly. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if this is actually a reasonable way to run an ad. Like, you just run an ad, and it's just him talking to the podium because she won't show up for the debate. I just think it's very funny. I thought it was a good move by John. I thought it was a brilliant move. So I wanted to play that to make sure everyone was aware that happened today.
No, it's hilarious. It's well done. I love it. It's so good. And Jay Jones is getting worse for him too. Obviously, we know about the community service, done through the PAC. He was essentially paid to do his community service for that speeding 116 miles an hour ticket that he got.
Yep.
Someone just put that down in the chat. We haven't forgotten about that either. There's just so much, and I have to believe I have faith in the people of Virginia. For goodness sakes.
Yeah, I really think I have faith in people of Virginia that they're not going to be willing to go forward with this stuff. Because, I mean, there's other things, like the trans issue has obviously been such a problem for them. And this is the thread I wanted to share earlier. So during the debate for Spanberger, you guys noticed that she refused to answer questions directly about the trans issue. And this is
we're going to start with you. Focusing on a K through 12 school system, should transgender girls who are biological males be allowed to use girls' bathrooms and play on girls' sports teams? You have 60 seconds.
I'm a mother of 3 daughters in Virginia public schools, and nothing is more important to me than their safety and their experience in schools. I'm also a former federal agent, and I work to investigate crimes against children. And so nothing is more important to me than the safety of all of our children. And that work, in part, has earned me the endorsement of Virginia's Police Benevolent Association.
Tell Steve
Ms. Earl Sears, Ms. Spanberger is talking. Please let her finish.
On issues related to what's happening in our schools in each individual community, I think it's important that we have parents and teachers and administrators making decisions about their individual schools, not politicians. And if we are talking about the safety of our children, I would ask why my opponent continues to support efforts to defund public safety, an effort carried on continually by this
Ms.
administration.
Spanberger, once again, the question was, should transgender girls who are biological males be allowed to use girls' bathrooms and play on girls' sports teams in K through 12? You have 15 seconds to clarify.
In cases across Virginia, I think it's incumbent upon parents and educators and administrators in each local community to
Nude
make
men in
decisions
locker rooms.
locally.
That's what this is about.
Ms. Earl Sears?
There should never be
We're gonna get
nude
to you in a
men
moment.
Oh
in
my
locker
goodness,
rooms.
we finally have her saying that, but you voted for that.
Ms. Earl
Have you
Sears.
finally
My opponent
Ms. Earl
said
Sears,
that
you are
now?
just
lying.
intruding on
Are
time
we in
here. We're
agreement
trying.
now? Are you
Ms.
going
Earl
to
Sears,
tell?
this is Ms. Spanberger's time. I have a follow-up question for Ms. Spanberger. Would you rescind the Youngkin administration policy requiring boys and girls to use bathrooms aligning with their biological sex? You have 30 seconds.
My priority would be to ensure that local communities, importantly parents and teachers
That's
and
a yes or
educators,
no.
are able to work together to meet the unique needs of each school and each community.
The girls
and
need
that is important.
privacy.
And I say that as a mother of 3 daughters in Virginia public schools.
Exactly.
And as someone who used to investigate crimes against children. The way that we keep our children safe is by ensuring they are safe in schools, which includes funding law enforcement and public safety.
But Ms. Spanberger, the question was, would you rescind the Youngkin administration policy requiring boys and girls to use bathrooms aligning with their biological sex? You have 15 seconds to clarify that question.
Yes.
And my answer is that in each local community, decisions should be made between parents and educators and teachers in each community. It shouldn't be
Parents don't want
dictated
their
by
girl children.
politicians.
Please don't interrupt. We're coming to you next.
Okay.
Thank you.
So there is Spanberger flailing about, unable to answer the question about the trans stuff. And the reason this is important right now is because Tyler O'Neill, who is he's a editor over at the Daily Signal. If you guys don't know the Daily Signal, it's a good website. They've got good reporting, and Tyler's one of the better reporters they have over there. I actually met Tyler when I was down at the hearing that the Democrat Party of Virginia is in a defamation lawsuit versus a guy named Thomas Speciale, and I met Tyler down there. He was one of the few reporters that actually covered that case, other than just
Ms.
me.
Spanberger, we're going to start with you.
It's just starting to play again because X is X. So anyway, what this is about, and the reason I'm bringing this up is because, for those who don't know, Spanberger won't talk about the trans issue. She will not answer the question no matter what she does. She won't do that. But there's a reason for that. So in this thread, he starts going through this. So there's a guy named David Steinglass, and he apparently just donated $50,000 to the Spanberger campaign. And this guy is a radical trans activist. I mean, just as trans activists get. And his entire intention is aimed at finding a community of people for whom transgender rights are non-negotiable. Okay, so that's what this guy's position is. And he sits on the board for an NGO that opposes laws to keep men out of girls' bathrooms, out of boys and girls' sports. So these are the people that are donating to the Spanberger campaign. Okay, so these are the types of donors that are in her campaign. So it shouldn't surprise anybody that that's why Spanberger won't talk about it, because her key donors are these lunatics. Okay, these are these same people that just will not stop talking about the trans stuff. They want all of the trans stuff to go 100% full tilt, 100%. We want only men. Men can only compete. There should be no women's sports. It should only be trans dudes winning women's sports trophies. Okay, that's the kind of people that donate to Spanberger's campaign, and that's why she won't answer the question. That's why she won't answer any of these questions. She won't talk about it. She won't go through it, because this is all that matters to her. This is the only thing that matters to her, is making sure that these lunatic donors of hers, this guy, David Steinglass here, is making sure that he is the person that is happy in this scenario, because he's the one keeping her campaign afloat. And again, I don't know if it's going to happen. I don't know. I don't know if it's going to happen, because they're obviously panicking. They've got, Pete Buttigieg is on his way down there. But, Chest Feeder himself is on the way to save her campaign. Do you think that the Virginia voters are very interested by Pete Buttigieg? I'm not sure that they are, but maybe.
I thought it was crystal clear that the only person that was less popular than Pete Buttigieg was Kamala Harris. And one more thing I want to remind people: do you remember the poll that came out where Pete Buttigieg got 0% of the black vote? 0. I don't know who is moved by Chest Feeder in charge, but I can assure you, I don't think anyone is. And he's even more unpopular than Kamala Harris, if that's a possibility. I don't think. I mean, I have no idea. Why? Why? I mean, he's another one of these weirdos. Like we opened the space with talking about how they were trying to call JD Vance weird, and we've got people like Pete Buttigieg with a chest feeder apparatus on and adopting kids. You've got Sam Brinton, the luggage legionnaire. You had Health and Human Services Rachel Richard Levine. Yeah, no one's moved by these people at all. Like, not even their own side, they're not moved by it. I mean, sure, they vote blue no matter who, and there's plenty of people like that. But we saw in 2024 where that's actually not the case. The popular vote, the House, the Senate, local races, the presidency. That was not vote blue no matter who. Remember how they're all whining about where the 15 million votes were? We're like, we've been telling you that for 4 years. What were the 15 million votes? But whatever. Nevertheless, I don't think they get that kind of support here either. So we'll see.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think so either. I mean, I don't know. These people, to me, the panic is obvious. The amount of stuff that's going on where they've got all these different people from the Democrat Party, the top line Democrats are all coming to show up to Spanberger's defense. I don't think that that's going to save them. And I think it's too late. You know, they've moved too far, and they've decided to go into the radicalism too heavily. So I don't think it's going to save them. And they can believe that maybe their No Kings protest that, you know, was essentially family and friends that no one cares about in big blue cities that are also not in Virginia. Like, I don't know if that's going to save them either. Like, you know, if they thought that was going to get a whole bunch of people out to the polls or something, it does not appear to have done so. So I don't know. I think that we're in a great position. I think that the polls that have shown Spanberger up 10 are desperate. That's what they look like to me. That's a desperate attempt to try and convince people that this is it's a runaway campaign for Spanberger. Like, I don't think anybody buys it, man.
No. And here's the thing. Everybody in Virginia needs to show up to the polls and vote, to be clear. This is not a runaway race. As a matter of fact, it's way tighter than it would have been had not all the attention been on it for so long now. Everyone needs to show up, to be clear. This is not, it's way too close to not show up. It's baffling to me. It's wild to me that it is this close. Okay. I still have a little bit more faith, though. I do. I don't know. We'll see. Come on, Virginia. Show up, show out. Go vote.
That's right. Yeah, I mean, I think we're in a good position though in terms of whether or not it actually pans out or not for us. We'll see. But just the amount of people that have showed up to try and support Spanberger is hysterical to me. And this most recent interview is just brilliant from Spanberger. Like, I love this. I don't get it, Democrats. She's just horrible. Like,
That's brutal.
It is so
Brutal.
bad. I'm going to go ahead and play this again.
Yeah, bad.
An election in Virginia. I have worked tirelessly.
Yep.
If I'm being very honest, we are 3 weeks away from an election in Virginia. I have worked tirelessly for 2 years running for this office. I announced in November 2023. The fact that I say this with all due respect because, I think it's a fair thing for you to ask about. The fact that I have to spend even a moment's time talking about somebody else's text messages from years ago rather than what I want to do as governor is something that I am deeply unhappy about. The fact that I can't spend every minute of the day talking about the plans that I have built out, not to be too hokey about it, but like my multiple pages of plans, my affordability plan, my education plan, my growing our economy plan, because of the, poor choices of another candidate, it is something that really clouds my view of all of it. And so, what we, the collective, we would have done, had this information come to light much earlier, I will say this, I would be much, much happier as a candidate if I could just talk about all of the things that I am for.
Yes. Just talk about my plans, and I'm just going to be furious. All the plans. Isn't she the quintessential Karen? Yes, more. She actually is the quintessential Karen. I think that's a good way to describe her. But she's also, there needs to be a better name for it because she's not just a Karen. Like she needs to there needs to be something more angry. Like what's an angry version of a Karen call? There's got to be something better, another term, another name. I don't know. I mean, I like calling her Rageburger personally. I think that's the best name I've come up with her with. Like it's just Abigail Rageburger. You know, for many weeks I was calling her Deep State Abby because she is so endorsed by the CIA and by the Steady State and by all these groups that are obviously standing against Trump on the fired bureaucrats all support her. That's what I was calling her for weeks is the Deep State Abby line. But now that she's gotten into this whole phase where she's just angry all the time and raging spam. Yes, raging spam Hillary. That's a good way to refer to her. But I mean, it's just the anger that you see from her just screams that they're not winning. That's all that it is to me. It makes me happy. Makes me very happy to see this consistent upsetness from the Democrats right now. Yes.
Well, I mean, it does seem like she's thought long and hard and had many plans about what she was going to do if she became HOA president. So, I wish her the best on her HOA president race. But governor, sorry, you're a little too rage-fueled. Go take it out on people who live in a suburban neighborhood who don't know who you are. HOA President Spamberger, a.k.a. Greta Spamberger, a.k.a. Rageburger, a.k.a. beats up notebooks and probably little kids.
Beats up notebooks and little kids. I really do think that they should have run that ad that we talked about. That they just should have had the ad of her chewing her poor notebook to pieces. I think that would have been very effective, to be honest with you. But anyway, so that's what's going on in Virginia. You've got Pete Buttigieg on the way. You've got Obama on the way. You've got the whole. I wonder maybe they'll fly Tish. Well, they probably won't fly Tish James down there. She's probably worried about being arrested the moment she steps foot in Virginia. So she probably won't fly down. So she's got a lot of problems in Virginia, so she can't get down there. But who else do you think they're going to fly in? I mean, maybe they'll get Kamala would be the next choice. I assume that Wait, can you imagine if you get Kamala and Spamberger on the same stage at the same time? Would anyone understand them? Like, how would you be able to translate that? You'd have to get someone to translate. Okay, we need a Venn diagram translator for when they actually have Spamberger and Kamala Harris on the stage at the same time, because I will not be able to understand a word that they say. Like, I won't be able to translate that for you guys. So we need both. We need a true translator. Who was it that used to say, I need to get my Kamala bong out so you can understand what she's talking about? Like, we'll need a whole new level of translators if we're going to have Spamberger and Harris on the same stage. That level of word salad is just not something we've seen so far.
I think you throw Tim Walz in there, too. I think you get Tim Walz up there throwing some spirit fingers, throwing his jazz hands up. I think you get it, too. But, sir, I do think as Americans, we do have a long-standing history of not being for cruel and unusual punishment. I don't know why you wish this upon America, but that seems pretty cruel and unusual.
I guess it is cruel and unusual punishment to say that, having both those people on the stage at the same time, that probably would be pretty cruel. But, I would think it's funny. So, I mean, I would enjoy it at least for the first couple minutes until my eyes started rolling out of my head. But, I don't know. Maybe it'll happen. Maybe we'll get to see it anyway. I mean, I assume they're going to have to. I mean, they've got to have something to energize their base, and nothing energizes their base more than their favorite incomprehensible moron like Kamala Harris does. I mean, she's the best that there is. So, she did win in Virginia, so maybe that's why they'll bring her over there. They think that maybe her popularity will transfer to spam. I don't think so, but, maybe I'm wrong. And by the way, the voting numbers, I just looked at the voting numbers, the early voting numbers. They're actually ticking up for Republicans again. So I'll pull this up in here and show you guys this. This is, if you guys don't follow this account, Christian Hines is the name of the account. And he's he's a numbers guy. He's been doing pretty well tracking this, and he has this model that he calls what does he call it? The crystal ball model for Virginia. So I'll pull this up and show you guys this here. So this is the current early vote numbers as of, let's see here. This is the 21st. So yeah, this is today's. So if you look at the numbers here, so this is Dems 59%, and this is early vote numbers, by the way. 59%, 59.76, GOP 40.24. Now, if you look in 2024, those numbers look roughly the same, but that's not really the number to pay attention to in this, okay? What you're really looking at is this number, because in 2021, this is the last gubernatorial election, okay? And this is where you see the big number difference, okay? So 35% for GOP, 40% for GOP now, 59% for Dems in 2025 on this current one, and then in 2021 it was 64%. So that means you have a 10-point swing in early vote numbers for the gubernatorial election, which is massive, massive numbers, fantastic stuff. And I think that's really going to show up. I think that's going to be a big deal because the big deal here is that you're not going to get the same turnout that you get for a presidential election. And my argument that I've been saying the whole time is that what exactly are you voting for if you're voting for Abigail Spanberger? Like, what is motivating you to go to the polls? What is it? I mean, and if you're going to sit down here and say it's something to do with Trump, I don't buy it. Okay. Like, I mean, you're running for governor. You're not running for president. You're not running for Congress. You're not running for federal elections. You're not going to be able to change any of the Trump policies. You're not going to be able to go out. Like, I love that the Abigail Spanberger campaign has been talking nothing about how Winsome is all about the big, beautiful bill for some reason. Like, what is she going to do? She can't change the big, beautiful bill at all. There's nothing she can do about it. This is the governorship of Virginia. This has nothing to do with federal Congress or federal regulation or anything like that. So, these numbers, to me, show good things for Republicans in Virginia. And I need to go look at Michael Prusser's numbers, which is another data guy when it comes to Virginia. But everything that I'm looking at shows positive trend for Republicans in Virginia. So I think that Spanberger's most recent gaffe, or would you call it a gaffe? I wouldn't call it a gaffe. I'd call that just yet another revelation of her terribleness, even as if we needed any more of them. But I don't know.
It's not a gaffe. It's actual. The veneer. The mask is off. Okay. It's not a gaffe. That they really don't have anything to say. This is why she never wanted to say anything to begin with. It's not a gaffe at all. I just hope people see it enough time.
Yep. Well, anyway, guys, so I think that's enough coverage of Virginia for this evening. We usually have we're trying to cut the show down so we have a little bit less talk time as we're trying to move into the point where we're going to be on radio. So if you guys want to come up here and join us on stage for the last bit of the show, we'll probably hang out for another 30 minutes or so. If you guys have something to say, you want to come up here on stage and join us, you're welcome to do so now. To do so, if you're on any of our other platforms, you need to be on X and you need to go to @TrashDiscourse or @ThePoliticalTheater, which is TPT 2025, @TPT 2025, and you can join the show, request to come up, and you guys can come up here and hang out. You can ask whatever questions you want. Even if you're a insane leftist, you're welcome to come up and ask us questions. Now, we will laugh at you, just so you know. It's not our fault that you're retarded. That's not our problem. But if you come up here and say dumb stuff, we will inform you of how stupid you are. So you are welcome to do that. And if you are a normal person, you want to come up and ask questions, you're also welcome to do so. Or if you just have something you want to say, you guys are welcome to come up here and join us. And if you are in any of our chats, we do read all of the chat messages throughout the show. So thank you guys for being here. This is the Political Theater Weeknights at 9. Thanks you guys for being here. Make sure you guys share this space out. And we're just going to keep rolling here. And if people come up, if you request it, you can welcome them to come up and Trash will bring you up on the stage. So...
Yeah, I got Michael up here. He's coming up. I'm also going to send you this clip I wanted to play in the height of the rising political violence and this caller that called into Chris Cuomo's show. It's about a 3-minute clip. I haven't listened to it because I've been on the space, but it looks pretty hilarious to me. So maybe we can talk about that a little bit too. Hey, Michael, what's up?
What's up, Michael?
Hey, what's happening, guys? How are you, man? Good show tonight. Congratulations on the new sponsor as well. That's very bullish.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Oh, man. Yeah, people are taking notice. You know why? Because you stand up and you speak the truth. And a lot of people can't handle the truth, right? You ever heard that saying before? Especially Democrats in today's society, because all they're really trying to do at the end of the day is fool people, into believing, into an ideology that is just basically worthless and crap. It really is. And I think a lot of people in Virginia, not only in Virginia, but throughout the rest of the country, have really come around to that type of thinking. All you have to do is just reference back to the 2024 election, where the Republican Party actually, took the popular vote in our country. So I'm under the impression, that there's a lot of awesome patriots in Virginia, and at the end of the day, this is just part of the political process and posturing, that has to be done. But I feel very confident that the people and patriots in Virginia are going to step up to the plate and do the right thing and continue to be on the path of, the Republican Party and continue, a lot of the legislation that they've been working on over the past few years. So I'm bullish on it. I don't believe Spanberger is going to be up here doing anything with it. Like, Walt was saying earlier, if you got to bring in, the big guns, quote unquote, to come out here and campaign on your behalf, you're desperate. You're calling in additional resources. My question is when are they going to bring in AOC? Because AOC and Crazy Bernie, when those two guys show up on scene, it's kind of hit the fan at that point.
That is a great question, Michael. Where will they stick AOC and Bernie? Where will they fly them into to assist Abigail Spanberger? That would be hysterical. I would love to know what they're going to bring them in for. I don't know. I'm not sure where they'd stick them. You never know where they could actually bring those two in at. The level of IQ that they both bring to the table is that, they're just around room temperature when they both show up. So I'm not sure where they'd put them. But it would be very entertaining. I would love it. I mean, people are saying they'd drop them in Nova. Yeah, but the deal is like, but are people in Nova, like even the people in Nova, like they may have an issue with the fact that Bernie Sanders and AOC, like they'd steal all their thunder. They're very full of themselves in Nova. They're very, the liberals up in Nova, they really have a high opinion of themselves. They believe that they're more important than everybody else. So you don't want to drop the people that are still going to steal the thunder from them. So I don't know where they'd take them. Maybe they take them to Richmond. I don't know. But that is a great question, Michael. I'm not sure. When they fly AOC and Bernie down there, I guess that'll be when it's DEFCON 4 and then the war is about to begin. Then I guess.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I think they would definitely have to keep them up in Northern Virginia. The people in Southern Virginia and Southwest Virginia aren't going to put up with that type of stuff.
I just don't know that if they're actually going to come. So what AOC's voting with Republicans to get the government open. So she might be welcome in that regard. But they're kind of doing their own thing. They're kind of peeling off and they're trying to take that young progressive base and lead them down more socialist paths. And that's not necessarily what Abigail Spanberger represents, or even a lot of people in Nova to begin with. That's a different temperature of liberal there. And so I don't know that they would help at all. Matter of fact, they might even hinder. They might even hurt a little bit. To Walt's point, I don't know. We'll see if they show up, but they seem to be doing kind of their own thing.
Well, maybe that's why they wouldn't bring them, because AOC is the reason the government's shut down right now. So maybe that would be a negative for them. That might be true. AOC is currently she's the leader of the Democrat Party. You guys weren't aware. She is the leader of the Democrat Party. Schumer bows to her. He is washing her feet on a regular basis right now. So I think that's true. Maybe they can't bring her down there because she is the reason the government's shut down. So that maybe they don't want her anywhere near it.
Yeah, and the other thing is that it's crazy that she won't admit that she's going to run for Schumer's seat. So he's keeping the government closed to do everything he can. They're fundraising off of it, and they are doing everything they can to keep it closed. So there's less of a challenge on Schumer. That's why they're doing it. Because from what I've heard and from what I can tell, is the pressure is there. They do want to make it a deal, but Schumer and them, he couldn't stand the challenge because he thinks he might lose. And they're fundraising off of it. I don't know if you saw that today too. I sent that to you a little bit earlier. They're fundraising like hell off of it.
Oh, are they really? That's pretty funny. No, I didn't see that.
Here, let me send you this clip. We'll play it for the space. I do want to get to this Cuomo clip, man. I really do. I want to hear it. But I'll send you one now. This looks like Steve Scalise and Mike Johnson, and they're talking about this. And apparently, they've gotten. So Mike Collins out of Georgia, he says, turns out Democrats like John Ossoff won't reopen the government because they're too busy fundraising off the government shutdown. And this is Steve Scalise. Looks like Steve Scalise and Mike Johnson and Mike Collins here kind of laying it all out there in a press conference. I missed this today. I've had it saved for like 3 or 4 hours, but I missed it.
Yeah, let me check this out here because I haven't seen this either. I missed this as well.
Another Democrat said, Senator Ossoff's calculation is, quote, do I vote to open the government up and get crushed and can't raise a single dollar of low dollar money? Or do I vote to shut the government down and get $3 million from online fundraising? That's disgusting. Senator Ossoff is more concerned about getting low-dollar donations from maybe some donor in California who's going to click on an email and give him $100 for his reelection. And so he's causing suffering on tens of thousands of people in his home state of Georgia. Senator Ossoff ought to send that tainted, dirty money back. If he's raised $3 million off of the shutdown, off of the suffering he's caused, just so that he can get some more money from radicals around the country, go look at his finance report during the shutdown.
Yep. Well, I mean, that's very important to think about. I mean, where all the money's going, but you know, they don't care. But like the deal is that the government being shut down, I still don't think it's this big of a deal. Like the Democrats are losing based on this. Okay, like they're losing the longer they keep it closed. Which, by the way, this is actually a perfect place to play. Did you see the Fetterman clip today? Did you see this earlier?
I caught it at a glance. I was very busy today, but I did catch it at a glance. I would like to hear the full clip. And I just want to say that we actually have a serious problem coming up. And SNAP, which is like EBT, you know, food stamps, and WIC, that money runs out in 9 days. We actually do have a serious problem. I don't want those defunded. I think the reevaluations that we've had under this administration were important, and I really want to get entitlements under control. With that being said, I also don't want these people stranded while they're expecting that money. And I don't think Republicans cave on this because Democrat voters are the ones that will be probably taking the biggest brunt of this. So they have a new pressure cooker situation for themselves. And I think Fetterman recognizes it. That dude's about 30 seconds away from flipping to the Republican in Pennsylvania, just so we're clear.
Yep. And this is what he had to say earlier when he was talking about the shutdown.
Are you surprised that vote after vote, it's just been 3 Democrats time and again who voted for this bill? And does that surprise you?
Yeah, it's Groundhog Day. You know, and I'm just saying, and it's not entertaining. That's a great movie, but this is shitty. And now it's like now real damage is are now touching the lives of regular Americans, and we all lose, and it's embarrassing to our allies and to our enemies abroad.
Are you surprised that vote after vote?
So sorry, it just started replaying again. But that's the point, right? Like it is embarrassing, right? Because they're the ones that are losing out on this. And like we said, we played the Harry Enton clip yesterday where Trump's approval ratings are going up, not down during this. Everyone blames the Democrats for this because everyone knows that the Democrats are the ones that have kept it shut down. It's the Schumer shutdown. Well, sorry, it's the Schumer siesta. Okay, we need to make sure that we're very, very clear on that. It is the Schumer siesta. It is not the Schumer shutdown, Schumer siesta. So, I mean, no one cares that they want to keep shutting it down. Like, and I keep telling people, like, there's still a couple, there's still a random leftist over here in our chat here screaming that, oh my God, the government shut down. Like, you don't understand. We don't care. We don't care that the government shut down. It doesn't matter to me. Doesn't matter to me at all. Majority rules, baby. Get over it. Okay, we're not going to give you're not going to get your health care for illegals. It's not happening. We're not going to sign for the subsidies. You're just going to have to reopen the government. You're going to get over it. Like, just cry about it all you want, but it's not happening. Okay, it's just not happening. And it is embarrassing for the Democrats because they're losing badly on this, and Trump's approval ratings are going up during this. So, you know, continue to cry about it, but we don't care. Go ahead, Michael.
No. Well, and before you go, Michael, I want to make it clear because I don't know why this isn't said enough. And sometimes it's said in like the legacy media political, operative space. But like, let's say it here. We don't have 60 Republican senators. The bill, the clean CR, has already passed the House. The House has no bearing on this whatsoever. This is why people like Hakeem Jeffries go out there and just look like a bunch of asshats and a bunch of clowns. It's already gone through the House. The House has no say in this. We don't have 60 Republican senators to pass this, and nor do we want to invoke the nuclear option. This is on them, and it's getting worse. And it's getting worse, and it's going to start touching real American lives. But at the end of the day, for people like us who, we're net taxpayers or whatever, has your life been any different since the government's been shut down? The answer is obviously no. And we don't care. We like small government. That's what we do over here.
That's
I sent you a clip. Well, before we go to Michael, not play it before Michael, but I just want to say this before I go to Michael. I did send you a clip of a TSA agent that went out on MSNBC today, and they are saying the same things as well. We should probably play that as well after Mike goes.
Yeah, go ahead, Michael. And there's one thing I wanted to play. Now, since people probably missed this, I'll play the bit of Harry Enton about Trump's approval polls going up still. But go ahead, Michael.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, so you guys know me. I like to call balls and strikes. What the people up in Washington are doing, obviously, is playing politics with, the American people, and our military and everything else. The gentleman, from the senator from Georgia, who's been out here fundraising off of this. Republicans do the same thing. Republicans, in my opinion, take advantage of opportunities because it's what they do. They're in politics, But I guess what I'm trying to say is both sides do it. It's so disgraceful, But I think unfortunately that's kind of like where we're at in today's society.
Yeah, why do you think that song Richmond, North of Richmond hit so deep for so many people for that couple of years and went completely viral? Because we all agree. We all agree on the same things. It's absolute dog s that we have to put up with any of this stuff. So again, I can go out there and say like, yeah, I'm for small government and I don't care if the government's shut down. That's my general sentiment. With that being said, I do not want people hurt over it. And we are tired of being played for pawns and being used. And this is why we have the same arguments about our Republican Party, the same that we do have with the Democrat Party. The difference with the Democrat Party is they've seemed to lean into violence quite a lot, and that's concerning as well, which sets up the next two clips. But this TSA agent did an interview on MSNBC, and he's roughly saying the same things that we are. I think there's a lot of essential workers and people who are working within these positions that are working without pay. And of course, they'll get their money on back pay when the shenanigans and the charade gets put down. But I still think if we're going to be talking about the situation specifically, Michael, we need to highlight specifically what people like John Ossoff are doing, what Chuck Schumer's doing, and being afraid of a primary challenge by AOC, and all of them are fundraising off of it, and it is 1,000% in their hands, and they're doing this to try to claw back things that they already passed in a bill. You can't claw back things you just passed this year. And so this 1,000% falls on their feet in this specific instance. But I don't agree.
Yep.
I don't disagree with you at all.
Well, but the point to the people that still don't understand why. So let's just go ahead and play real quick. This is the poll numbers showing that Trump is not losing in the polls at all over this.
That's exactly right. Turns out shutdowns are different the second time around when it comes to Donald Trump. Take a look here. We speak about Donald Trump shutdowns, net approval rating. We're talking 20 days into it. In 2018/2019, Donald Trump's net approval rating was already falling. The shutdown was eating into his popular support. It was down 3 points already at this particular point and would fall considerably more. It was very much on the decline. You come over to this side of the screen, this shutdown hasn't eaten into Donald Trump's support at all. His net approval rating is actually up a point in terms of his popular support. So the bottom line is this. The first shutdown during Trump's first term, 2018-2019, was hurting Donald Trump. This one is not hurting him at all. There's no real reason Donald Trump might say, at least when it comes to popular support, I want to get out of this shutdown.
What about the question of blame?
Yeah, okay. What about the question of blame? Okay, you see here, Donald Trump's net approval rating was down 2018 to 2019. You talk about 2025 as net approval rating is up. It comes down to the blame game, a game I loved to play when I was younger. Blame Trump for the shutdown a great deal. In 2018/2019, 61%, more than 3 in 5 Americans blame Trump a great deal for that particular shutdown. You come over to this side of the screen, look at this. It's a different world. It's a different world. 48% of Americans blame Trump a great deal for this particular shutdown. So it's more than 3 in 5 back in 2018/2019. It's less than half, a drop of 13 points. Again, it's no real wonder that Donald Trump, at this point, looking at the shutdown, says, you know what, it's not actually harming me politically, in large part because he's getting less of the blame.
And he's doing things differently during this shutdown.
Yes, exactly right. We talk about Donald Trump and you say, okay, he wants to be a consequential, influential president. Well, if the legislative process is basically freezed up, on Capitol Hill, you may say, well, then he can't actually get legislation through. But that's not how Trump is governing in this term. We've spoken about this over and over and over again. He's using his pen. He's using executive orders. Trump executive orders at this point of presidency. In 2017, it was just 50. Look at this, already 210 executive orders signed by Donald Trump during this presidency. That is the most in a year. You have to go all the way back since Franklin Delano Roosevelt to find a president who signed more executive orders in a year than Donald Trump has already signed this time around. And remember, John Berman, we still have 2 months to go in this year, so it wouldn't be surprising to me if he signs even more.
Yes,
So there we go. So this is just talking about the poll numbers and how the shutdown is just obviously not having the same effect that the Democrats are hoping it does. Okay, the poll numbers are going up. Trump's still doing just fine in the polls. So they can scream about it all they want, but people aren't blaming him. The only people that are blaming are Democrats. And let me just lay this out for you very carefully here. The Democrats, you have no power, you have no leverage, and you're losing. Okay, your support amongst the American people has been dwindling. Okay, no one cares. Okay, and AOC is sitting there salivating at the hip, just waiting there, hoping that Chuck Schumer falls over during his next ridiculously cringe video of him saying that the government shut down and it's Trump's fault, and I'm going to wander around making strange videos in my sandals. Like, I mean, okay, no one cares. Okay, just no one cares. No one cares at all. You guys are the ones causing this problem. If you want to open the government, then open it. But it's still entirely on you as of right now. And what were these clips? So, Trash, what was the clips that you wanted to play a minute ago here? So you have...
So I've sent you a couple. There's one that I just came across, Dr. Ronnie Jackson, if you guys remember who Ronnie Jackson was. He's kind of talking about this a little bit here, what kind of the politics are. But the clip I sent before that is a TSA agent that went on with MSNBC this morning and voicing a lot of the things that we were concerned about people being used as political pawns, specifically the essential workers that are going without pay. And I think he kind of lays it out on MSNBC correctly. And this MSNBC audience, who obviously leans heavily Democrat, heard this message. And it's kind of important.
Is this the Ronnie Jackson one you want to play here?
So the Ronnie Jackson one is different. We can play that one.
Which one did you want to play? The TSA one?
The one before it.
Okay.
The TSA agent.
Oh, hold on a second here.
Fund the government. Keep it open, just like we come to work every day. We take an oath to protect and uphold the Constitution. They should be doing the same. We don't want to get involved in a political component. We're tired of being political pawns on a chessboard for either party to be used as pawns.
What do you think of what the Democrats are arguing, which is that they need to keep going on this because they have to get health care subsidies extended? They're gonna run out, and they need folks to get this money. Bernie Sanders says 50,000 people a year could die if they lose access to health care.
Yeah, well, that's for political negotiators to negotiate, and for them to negotiate, I think they've made their point. So it's time for them to return to the bargaining table, address these issues. But passing a continuing resolution is the opinion of the union, and allow folks to address these issues as they should. This partisanship doesn't work out well for the frontline federal workforce across the country.
Johnny Jones, really good to have you. Thank you for joining us today, and I'm sorry your members are going through this. It must be a really difficult.
There you go. So that was this TSA agent here. That's actually reasonably interesting.
Yeah, very much so. And I believe he's probably representative of a union, I believe. I can't find the name of it. It's behind him. But nevertheless, I mean, he's correct. He said, look, you guys have made your point. Now you need to come back to the table and hash this thing out. We are working without pay. We don't want to do this. And it is the opinion of the union that the continuing CR is passed. So, again, it's political. Continuing resolutions of levels of spending, I want it cut out too. I'm not even really pushing for it to be passed. But I think that we need to be specifically talking about exactly what the fundamentals of this political game that they're playing, and it has nothing to do with Republicans. Again, you can't claw back stuff that you voted for months ago all of a sudden when the House has already done its job and passed this clean CR. If you want to come back to the table and try to negotiate for things and get other things passed, that's what Congress is supposed to do. But all of this is to continue fundraising and prevent primary challengers if they think they can do that, and that's including Chuck Schumer and many of these other Democrats like John Ossoff. It just is what it is. It's we don't like this big spending, but for the love of God, like at least call balls and strikes here and call it for what it is. And that's why they're doing this.
Well, so in this clip here from Cuomo, I actually do want to get to this because this is, I assume, more of political violence stuff. Is that what this is? Is there some color on this?
Yeah, the Chris Cuomo clip. He had a caller. It went ballistic. It's crazy.
Yeah, I do want to listen to this because I saw someone send this to me earlier, and I didn't actually get a chance to listen to the whole thing. But I do find it funny that the people that claim that the political rhetoric and the political violence. And but by the way, did you guys see that clip it put out a couple days ago? And it's the terrible lizard woman that we hate. That she was out there talking about how white people people's brains got broken after Obama won the presidency. Did you see that? But anyway, the clip in that, the chyron on that, the chyron for that was hysterical because it says rising tide of right-wing political violence. It's like, you people, like, how many right-wing snipers have assassinated left-wing people here recently? Is that something that's happening here recently? Has there been a big wave of that here recently? Like, how about the actual tsunami of left-wing radical terrorists that are like burning cities to the ground and like shooting people and attacking ICE officers? Like, anyway, but so this is on that same note. So let's see or hear what this lunatic apparently has to say to Cuomo.
The advice that you're giving about not arming yourself if you're confronted by ICE is advice that somebody would give that's not threatened by being confronted by ICE. But what if ICE came to News Nation and started rounding everybody up? You're brown. They decide to detain you and don't give you an opportunity to explain that you're a citizen, and they want to take you, and you don't know what's going to happen if you go with them. Would your advice be the same as what you're giving?
Well, first of all, stay on the line. Don't cut him off. One, you're assuming a fact. You don't know what's going to happen. You're suggesting they may kill you, that they may do something bad to you. They are not a gang. They are operating under color of authority. So you're suggesting to me that if an officer makes a wrongful arrest, that it is okay for you to be violent with them. That's what you're saying?
I'm saying, what advice would you give someone that is under that type of threat?
I'm saying that violence against an officer who is operating with color of authority is stupid and illegal. And suggesting it is stupid and reckless. And if that person has a boss and they're in the media, they should be fired. That's what I'm saying. I'm not telling you don't bear arms, don't protect yourself, but just think about what you're saying. If a cop comes to your house and knocks on the door and says, hey, we think you're the guy we're looking for, you're coming with us, and they grab you real rough, you're basically saying, well, in that situation, I should be able to shoot him. It's effing crazy, okay? It's just crazy talk. And it can't be what you think. I'll take silence as acceptance. Look, I get it. You want me to give advice because you're angry at ICE. You're angry. You're angry at how they're doing their job. But how could you ever want to suggest that people should be violent?
Well, see, now you're assuming that I'm angry. I'm not angry. I'm upset. I'm disappointed.
But where else could it come from?
Because I'm afraid of what happens to people who don't have an opportunity to have due process and to say, hey, I'm a citizen. And
you sue. You sue. You sue. You sue is what you do. That's called justice. That's what we do. You litigate. You don't shoot them.
Do you think some people are deported who are citizens?
I don't know. Could that have happened? Absolutely.
I don't have confidence.
Listen, they may be doing the job the wrong way. They may be doing the job the wrong way. They may be making mistakes. There may be some who aren't making mistakes. My advice would never be to shoot them. Never.
What is your advice?
Never.
For people in that situation, what's your advice?
My advice is plead your case and fight the system. Not with your hands, right? That's not democracy. It's not our society. Don't be what you oppose. If you think what they're doing is wrong, don't do something wrong in response. I don't think that's goody two-shoes. And I get how it feels somehow satisfying and muscular to say, hey, this is why we have the Second Amendment. The hell it is. That's not why we have it. I get why you're upset. You're right about that, but your remedy is wrong.
Well, that went interestingly. I mean, these people, and this is what happens when you go out there and tell people that ICE is the Gestapo, okay? Like, this is the reaction that you get, and the media's been doing this for months. They've been doing this for months. They've been saying that ICE is the Gestapo, and I've said this a couple times now, that this whole anti-ICE campaign, it's actually a worse version, if it's possible, of their defund the police campaign. It's the same message. It's the same problem. Okay, it's the exact same thing. So this whole idea that this is some way better is nuts. Okay, like this is worse than it was before. Okay, you have people constantly attacking ICE. You've got people that are actually saying that these people are, they're violent bandits in the middle of the night and that you need to go out there. And this guy's convinced that the only option he has is to shoot back. That's nuts. Okay, these are law enforcement officers. Okay, they are still law enforcement officers, whether you like it or not. Like, I mean, the idea that you can have any authority to do that and go out there and attack these people and think that you're in the right, you're not in the right at all. And that you're just going to be arrested. And if you shoot at ICE officers, you're going to be charged with attempted murder. Okay, that's how that's going to work. So don't do that. That's insane. And at least Cuomo was willing to say that's nuts. That is like, and I love that he even, like, it was still pretty funny. He's like, do you think citizens have been deported? No. Okay, that's the easiest answer to that. Okay, no. If you're a citizen of America, you can't be deported. Where are you going to be deported to? What? It's such a stupid question, but the left wing propaganda media has convinced people that that's what's happening. You're deporting citizens. Like, no, there hasn't been any citizens deported. Okay, that's not happened. Okay, the Maryland man. Where is he now? By the way, where did he get moved to?
Uganda.
Or was it what was the other one? The other one that no one knew the name of.
No, it was Uganda. You F around, Uganda find out.
That's right. But I know he was going to. There was Uganda, but then there was another one that they were going to send him to for a brief period before they sent him to Uganda. Like, what was the name of that other one? Like, no one even had even heard of it. It was like Twaswali or something else. Like, it was some completely unknown country. Because it was like formerly, we looked it up and it was like formerly known as Swaziland. We were like, what? Like,
yeah, I think it was like some remote island out in the middle of absolutely nowhere.
Jack Tron just texted me. It's Eswatini. Yes. Eswatini was the other place he was going to get sent to, which no one had ever heard of. But apparently Eswatini was formerly Swaziland, which also no one has ever heard of before. So you got to love it. I mean, I have no idea what these people are talking about. Like, I mean, go ahead.
Hey, I'm going to Michael here just a second, but I want to read this because I've been saving this to set this up today. So Tricia McLaughlin, if you heard about this, this was an incident that happened today. Tricia McLaughlin, Assistant Secretary of Department of Homeland Security, she put this out. This incident happened today. Listen to this. She just wrote it all out, exactly what happened. The illegal alien was hit in the elbow, and as he was ramming an ICE vehicle and attempting to flee. The law enforcement officer was hit in the hand. Here's what happened. This is a developing situation, and information is preliminary. During a targeted enforcement traffic stop in the Los Angeles area, an illegal alien who had previously escaped from custody attempted to evade arrest yet again. ICE law enforcement officers, assisted by the U.S. Marshals, pulled the illegal alien over in a standard law enforcement procedure. The illegal alien weaponized his vehicle and began ramming the law enforcement vehicle in an attempt to flee. Fearing for the safety of the public and for law enforcement, our officers following their training and fired defensive shots. The illegal alien was hit in the elbow, and one law enforcement officer was shot in the hand by a ricochet bullet. Both are in the hospital. These are the consequences of conduct and rhetoric by sanctuary politicians and activists who urge illegal aliens to resist arrest. Resisting arrest puts the safety of illegal aliens, law enforcement, and public at risk. These dangerous attempts to evade arrest come after sanctuary politicians held webinars and provided resources and tips for how to openly defy ICE. As an example, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez hosted a, quote, webinar in February providing tips for illegal aliens to evade arrest at homes, workplaces, or in public. Gavin Newsom released guided advising aliens on how to block ICE entry and defy arrest. Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass issued multilingual flyers and online resources advising illegal aliens on how to evade arrest. That happened today, by the way. That incident happened today. So essentially, they had to fire back because this illegal alien was using his car to like ram ICE vehicles and try to evade arrest and get away. And so they fired at him, and one hit him in the elbow, and the other one ricocheted off one of the vehicles and hit one of the ICE officers in their hand, just for simply doing an actual arrest of one who had already ran away, evaded, and escaped. And they were trying to arrest him again.
That's insane.
And that's what we're dealing with because of what these politicians have done.
That's completely insane. Like, I mean, this is the kind of stuff that people don't understand. Like, this is what happens when you constantly go out there and call them the Gestapo or whatever the hell it is that you want to call them. Like, this is what happens. Okay? This is what happens. You're going to have this sort of stuff continue to happen. You cannot consistently every single day go out there and tell everybody that this is the end of days, that these people aren't law enforcement officers. They are law enforcement officers. They will shoot back.
Okay, like all you're going to cause is someone else to get killed. Okay, if you consistently do this, and the left doesn't care. Okay, and this is something we talked about on the show a couple times now. One of the things that I think that they're doing is they're desperately attempting to get themselves to a point where they have a Kent State moment, where they have to have federal law enforcement actually use lethal force to defend themselves, and that's what they want. Okay, they are openly advocating for a Kent State moment. I think that's what's really going on here. They want to have a scenario where law enforcement is forced into a scenario where they use lethal force, and then they're going to play that on the news every single day and say, look, Trump is the evil authoritarian. He's even shooting people in the streets. That's what they want to say. That's what they want to do. Go ahead, Michael.
Yep.
Yeah. Thanks for letting me jump in here. Yeah, wow, man, that's crazy. But Walter, you're right on the money. And that's probably going to happen up in Portland. Unfortunately, the people up there are just completely lawless. They have been for a very long time, including their own very own police department. And I guess the whole topic really comes back down. One of my favorite topics is the fake news, right? It's so unfortunate, that we don't have. I guess you could look at it as the enemy of the state, right? They go against the laws, of our country, the traditional values of our country. They're trying to push a different narrative to, change America from within. They don't like the Constitution. They hate it. They want to rewrite it. They're really anti-America when it comes to, a lot of the policies that we have here, and that's brought on by, external influences, but let's bring it back to our elected officials as well. Trash mentioned, AOC and her doing her, instructional video on how to avoid, ICE and all this other stuff. Where's Tom Homan? God bless the guy. I love him to death. Met him a few times. One a big fan. But I think, our elected officials are needing to be held accountable. I want to see people in handcuffs, that we have elected, that are actually out here, enabling, these lawless individuals to go out here and, cause violence in the street. I want to see some accountability. I really do. And I'm bullish on President Trump, calling out the fake news every opportunity that he gets, because that's exactly what they are. When he holds press conferences, in the Oval Office, I saw one, just the other day, regarding Stephanopoulos, and there was an ABC News reporter in there, and he was like, "Oh, you're ABC News." After what you guys did to the vice president, with George Stephanopoulos, I'm not even taking questions from you guys. You're fake news, and he calls them out right to their face. I think we need to have a lot more of that. And I'm just, sitting here wondering, what is America going to look like 20 years from now? What we're going through right now is absolutely a travesty, in my opinion. And that the Democrats aren't going to stop. These people are kamikazes. They will do any and everything that they can in order to, control the minds of not only our youth, but, everyone in the country and everyone within an earshot.
You're absolutely right that they're the kamikazes in this scenario, Michael. I mean, they don't care. They are willing to go as far as they possibly can into their radicalism because their ideology has just completely absorbed them. Their brains are completely broken. I love that people refer to their brains are so broken that they're screaming about everything. I mean, I like that the ballroom is being built and they're losing their minds over that. Oh my God, Trump is tearing down historical documents. I mean, by the way, there's a couple people yesterday, they were like, why are the taxpayers paying for that? They're not. Okay, they're not. Trump is paying for it. Okay, Trump and he's got some other donors and they're all putting it together themselves. It's completely privately funded. There's no taxpayer dollars going towards that ballroom. Okay. Now, what I do hope that is taxpayer funded, just for all the leftists that are listening, I really, really hope that in the center of the ballroom, there is a 60-foot statue of Trump with a crown on. Okay. And when you enter the room, you must kneel. Okay. That's very important. Okay. When you enter the room, you must kneel, bow to the king before you enter the room, and that's the mandatory requirement to enter the Trump ballroom. Okay, and I hope that outside of the ballroom, it is in giant gold letters that just says Trump the King is just outside of that ballroom. I hope that you are. That's the only part of that. That's funded entirely by taxpayer dollars. Now, just for the note on the taxpayer dollars that are paying for that is only from taxpayers in New York and California. Those are the only two places that are paying for it. Everybody else, they don't have to pay for it. Only those two states. We figured out how to do that. We just figured we just do it anyway. It's just a much easier way to make sure that everyone's happy in the end of this, because that's the best way.
I also would like to raise money for like a big bronze plaque or like a gold plaque to put outside that simply says we voted for this. Just to make the president more royal. Just the meltdowns that come from that by saying, we have a plaque that we all crowdfund that says we voted for this. Just because they're going to lose their mind because they don't pay attention. By the way, breaking news. Thank you to Helena Gibson. About 22 minutes ago, Walt, another unhinged lunatic has decided to ram their car into a barricade. So a car has rammed the barricades at 17th and East Northwest at the White House complex. The area is now in lockdown.
Oh, my God.
People are not going to make it. We still got 3 years of this glory. They're not going to make it.
3. We've got 12 more years, dude. Just remember, we've got 12 years of this.
Yes.
They're literally running into a brick wall to prove a point. I mean, it shows you how triggered these people are. What a time to be alive. I tell you what, man.
That's so great. They're literally running into walls to make points. That's so funny. Oh, they're running into a brick wall to make a point. I love it. That is.
Do you remember the guy who I believe ended the Ukraine war by setting himself on fire?
That's right.
I think it was. Yeah.
Oh,
they're not going to make it, man.
Speaking of setting themselves on fire, did you guys see this crazy story about this? This staffer. Yeah, this staffer from what was the, she was for
Tony Gonzalez.
Tony Gonzalez's lead aide staffer. Apparently, she quite literally set herself on fire. Like, what the hell? Like, it is literally. She literally self-immolated. Whoa, dude. Like, what on earth? And apparently she was
covering
having
up
they're
covering up all the records. It's a bizarre story, dude.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. I just saw that. Yeah, I saw that a couple days ago. I was like, what now? Like, you don't often hear about self-immolation and congressional staffers in the same sentence. I was like, what's going on here exactly? That was crazy to me. But yeah, that's apparently a story. So if you guys don't know that, Tony Gonzalez is former lead aide staffer or whatever it is. Apparently was having an affair with him and self-immolated after the affair. I don't know. It was just beyond me, but it was a very, very bizarre story. So look into it.
I want to say Daily Mail had the original scoop on that. I remember putting it out a couple days ago, and I was just like, guys, take a look at this. I archived the article so you have to look through the paywall. Just my contribution to X. But go read the story. It's crazy because, yes, apparently she had an affair, whatever, and then self-immolated, and now they're trying to cover up all the details in Texas. I'm like, I feel like there's some missing context to the story here.
Yeah, I definitely think there's some missing context to the story. Now, by the way, someone in one of our chats here, Donald, what's your last name? Donald Bryan here said that the ballroom where we have Trump's name and you must kneel when you enter the ballroom, that's actually on page 48 of Project 2025. That is true. We need to make sure everyone's aware. That was in Project 2025. That was in there. Okay, all of this stuff's in there. All of the stuff about Trump being king forever, and then how Barron is going to inherit the earth, and we're going to invade Greenland and we're going to make it barren land. All of that stuff's in there, okay? Like, you needed to read it. Like, we tried to warn you, okay? It was in there from the very beginning. We told you. I mean, I know we told you it wasn't really Project 2025, but it is, okay? And that's all included. Every minute of that, every bit of that, the whole part about Trump being king, that's all in there, okay? So it's not our fault that you didn't go read it, okay? Like, we told you what we were going to do. I mean, short of we didn't say we were going to do it, but we are doing it. So get over it.
Well, I think it's only fair that, if we do something, like that for President Trump, that we have to include the First Lady as well. There's a lot of people in our country right now that are triggered, by Melania, and it's just fitting. You've got a king and you got a queen. We got to do something for Melania.
Well, we're going to tear the West Wing down, and that one's going to be entirely made with taxpayer dollars. That one, when we tear that side down, when the West Wing gets torn down, since we're tearing down the East Wing now, when the West Wing gets torn down, that'll be Melania's, the Queen Melania's section, and that will be taxpayer funded. Every minute of that will be taxpayer funded. So, you guys can claim that Trump can't pay for things, but Melania gets all of it. That's just how that works, guys.
I mean, if I listen to the left, I would be informed that the entire White House is going to be leveled and the entire complex is going to be leveled, and golden towers that say Trump on them are going to be erected in its place. That's how they're treating this, by the way, which is, again, we started off the show earlier when we were talking about how they were trying to make J.D. Vance weird again and trying to do these fake attacks on him and his wife and all the things. So if I believed all of their rhetoric, we would have golden Trump towers. Some say the biggest, beautiful towers ever made. That's what they tell me anyway.
That's right. I mean, this goes along with the same sort of stuff. Like, people are talking about Gaza again because Gaza, apparently the peace deal is, they might blow Hamas up or something like that. And like, oh no, I'm sorry, I don't care. Like, hurry up and make the Gaza Plaza hotel. Okay, I want the Trump Gaza Plaza resort spa and golf course. Okay, the only solution to the Gaza problem is a 2-course solution. I want a 2 golf course solution. Okay, that's the only way you solve that problem. I think it'll be a beautiful golf course. I can't wait to get tickets. Like that'll be the first thing I do. So yeah, I don't care, guys. Like you can scream about the Gaza stuff anymore, but we got all the hostages out. That's all that mattered to me.
Have they tried floating Greta Spanberger into the Black Sea on a flotilla?
Oh,
I feel like they could make world peace over there too.
I forgot that we came up with Greta Spanberger. I'm gonna have to write that down. Like the Greta Spanberger is fantastic, and we need to create memes of Greta Spanberger. Now, the only problem with that is that if you have a Greta Spanberger, that means that a war will break out because Greta Thunberg caused the Ukraine war. So, what war will Spanberger cause? Now, the war of the notebooks already ended. Okay, she lost the notebooks lost that war. Okay, so that war has ended badly for the notebooks. But what war will Spanberger start? Who knows? I mean, Greta Thunberg caused the Ukraine war. What will Spanberger do? We don't know.
Well, you know what I heard? I heard, with all the layoffs, during this shutdown, that it's being considered, right now that the president is going to take over some of the vacant buildings, that are going to be in Washington, and we're going to, kind of relocate Deportation Depot, and start putting, deportation centers up in Washington. That's pretty bullish. Maybe they'll add an addition onto, the White House grounds somewhere for a Deportation Depot.
No, that's good. I like that.
Deportation
Deportation Depot.
Fair, like we did steal Greta's childhood. Like, how dare we? And
That's right.
Now we find her on flotillas, trying to fight against, all of us. And she constantly is getting arrested. Like, we really did, steal her whole childhood. As you recall, when she was 9, how dare we?
That's right. Well, I mean, and you missed it earlier, Honey Badger. And thank you for joining us up here on stage. Guys, if you want to come up, we're just kind of hanging out for the last little bit of the show here. But if you missed it earlier, Greta Thunberg, I actually just referred to Spanberger as Greta Thunberg. Did you hear me? That was a Freudian slip. But Spanberger was very upset that we're talking about the J. Jones stuff. Like, this has got to be the worst clip of Spanberger since I don't know. Every time she speaks, it's terrible, to be honest with you. Like, it's not like sometimes, it's every time now. But here, Honey Badger, since you probably didn't hear this, you have to listen to this. This is why we were referring to her as Greta Spanberger.
If I'm being very honest, we are 3 weeks away from an election in Virginia. I have worked tirelessly for 2 years running for this office. I announced in November 2023. The fact that I say this with all due respect because, I think it's a fair thing for you to ask about. The fact that I have to spend even a moment's time talking about somebody else's text messages from years ago, rather than what I want to do as governor, is something that I am deeply unhappy about. The fact that I can't spend every minute of the day talking about the plans that I have built out, not to be too hokey about it, but like my multiple pages of plans, my affordability plan, my education plan, my growing our economy plan, because of the, poor choices of another candidate, it is something that really clouds my view of all of it. And so, what we, the collective, we would have done, had this information come to light much earlier, I will say this, I would be much, much happier as a candidate if I could just talk about all of the things that I am for.
So there you go, Honey Badger. That's why we're referring to it. It's because how dare we peasants talk about this issue with these text messages? How dare we?
You pick up on the fact that she doesn't even believe herself, right? Because she's saying this like this, and I really feel this way. Like, who would fucking vote for that? Like, even the cadence in her speech, and I just really feel That is straight up Silicon Valley speech. If you guys are not picking up on that, I'm questioning what I'm actually saying, and I just
Well,
feel
but
this way.
you need to like the facial
Cool.
expressions on it is what's better about it. Honey Badger is the facial expressions are that of absolute fury, rage, and anger that the peasants are asking me questions. Why are you asking me this? How dare you? I mean, that's what it looks like. I mean, like her face this whole way through. Like at one point, I actually had freeze framed this image of her on the screen, and she's just like gritting her teeth, and she's just furious that she has to answer this question. How dare
I'm
you?
really upset that you're asking me this, and my facial expressions are kind of, betraying me because I'm really pissed, but I have to say everything as if it's a question because I have no convictions. Does that make sense, Walter? Did
Yes,
I?
yes. I mean,
She's
it
just
makes
mad that
sense.
we don't talk about her plans.
Yeah, we want to talk
Well,
about her
she has
plans.
spent 2/3 of her life on a fucking boat. They call it Upspeak, Honey Badger. It literally has a name. It's called Upspeak, Nance.
Oh, trust me,
How
I
you
lived
doing,
in
Nance?
Silicon
Trash.
Valley
Thanks
for
for letting
20
me up, guys.
years. I understand the upspeak, and that's how you lose all of your credibility, folks, because you're questioning yourself as you're speaking. Words, not only words matter, but the way that you inflect your voice matters. You can say things as a statement, or you can say things as a statement. Either way, you sound like you're doubting yourself.
Well, regardless, the thing that stood out to me is this is the how dare you. How dare you ask me questions about things that I don't want to talk about? That's what Spamberger does here in this just amazing clip. Like this woman is horrible. Like I just don't like I can't believe that this woman is actually even in the process of actually being close to winning any election. But these are the Democrats for you. So oh well.
I just want to say, again, I said it earlier, what a time to be alive. I mean, we're literally watching the Democrats self-implode. You've got people, like Trash was just talking about, driving cars into, barricades and walls and, people lighting themselves on fire. Trump derangement syndrome is absolutely real. It's a mental disease. You've got crying Palestinian Chuck Schumer and El Jefe, up there in Washington, D.C., El Jefe Jeffrey. And these guys are just imploding. You've got Spamberger up here who doesn't even want to answer questions, from the public.
Michael,
It's so
and
bullish
you're
right
absolutely
now.
right. But what a great time to be alive because we're seeing evil play out to its natural end. And you can consider this like the ideologically dispossessed. That's not my word, actually. I can't attribute that to myself. But what that means is that people are so possessed by their ideology that that's all that they have. And so what that is something. It's evil. And, it's kind of like this, it implodes on itself because it's kind of like a foppish gay actor. They can't help but overplay their hand. And so when we see people lighting themselves on fire, becoming completely unhinged in any conversation, you have to realize that these people have no foundation. They have no moral principle. They are so possessed by what my truth, as they think, what the hell is my truth? I don't have my truth. You Trash, you have your truth. I don't have a monopoly on truth. But they're so possessed by their beliefs and the belief that what they think is truth, then this is the natural end. And this is where we're seeing, like Nick Sorter like post, hey, look at what's happening in Portland, and the National Guard get rolled out, and how everyone just is losing their minds, and at the end of the day, they don't even know why they're so angry. They just are angry. Does that make sense, Michael?
Yeah, no, perfect. I think the only thing more bullish than, watching these guys self-implode, all I'd picture right now is, after the, gubernatorial election in Virginia and, Winston Sears wins, all I picture right now is Walter like, leaned up against a tree, like, far off in the distance, just like smoking a cigar.
Listen to me. When Abigail Rageberger loses, the first thing I'm going to do is laugh hysterically, but then I'm just going to make sure that I just rub it in the faces of all the people who said it was impossible. That's I will only gloat for like at least a month or two. Okay, so I promise all of you losers who said this was not possible and that we would lose. I promise I'll only make fun of you for all of time and all of history. So your irrelevance will be a great accolade to hang on my wall. But outside of that, these people that have constantly said that this is, oh my goodness, she's running away with it, Abigail Spanberger's running away with it. Sure, they bring Obama and Pete Buttigieg in for the final stretch of the campaign because they're up 10 points. That sounds accurate. Yeah, sure. I believe you. I mean, you believe you. Maybe. Anyway. But guys,
we know how well polling is too, right?
Well, I mean, the polling is hysterical. Every time they have a good poll that comes out, within 24 hours of a really good poll showing up for Winsome, they immediately publish a suppression poll within 48 hours. It's every single time. It's hysterical.
All of it is just unbelievable. And to your point, and we can go to Donnie here, but to your point, yes. Again, I don't want anybody to get ahead of themselves. I want them all to show up to the polls, show up in force, go out and do your duty. Please do, Virginians. With that being said, should it go the way I believe it looks to be going? Yeah, I'll probably brag about it for a little bit. Not gonna lie, a month, maybe. Maybe we'll do it like 1 month and like 6 months later, maybe like a year later, like right around midterms, and just remind people of what power that they have. They're duly elected for duly elected politicians, regardless of how bleak and dark they want to paint the world and how they use push polls to lie to you. All of those things, we saw a miracle happen in 2024. God definitely was in control, and I believe He still is. And so let's just keep pushing forward.
Yep. All right, Nostradamus, Donnie, you can have the final word, and then we're going to close out for the evening. So go ahead, bud.
Oh, one quick smart-ass question, which is, I wonder how much the ER visits spiked on acetaminophen overdoses, watching people pop a half a bottle in retaliation. I remember seeing that, and I bet you there is some kind of data on that where there was a spike in acetaminophen liver failure. The other is we need an island greened off the coast of Gaza. It's a par four, 425 yards. You either lay up or go all in, and call it the Beast from the Middle East. And I just
I like it.
I enjoy you guys' spaces lately. It's cracking me up because I appreciate Trash, you bringing it to the lighter side, because I've said it a million effing times. Ever since Trump first came down that escalator, we all knew the shuck and jive move where they thought it'd be cute to push him to the front of the primary, and then they thought Hillary would take him take him in a walk. That was the media's mentality back then. And when he steamrolled everybody, they began to punish the entire nation. And that punishment continues till today. And what I'm starting to see now is almost like a Stockholm syndrome where people are literally when they're not being oversensitized and they're not being led around the nose, they crave it now because we have been so bombarded with this stuff that people literally, it's becoming part of, if that part of their whatever they call it, your hippocampus or whatever in your brain doesn't kick out the endorphins, it's that fight or flight these people are getting addicted to on both sides of the aisle. It's got to be one conspiracy theory after another, and nobody can just take a W and crack a beer or even a soda pop, whatever your favorite beverage is, and enjoy the moment for Christ's sakes, because this 3 years is going to go by fast, and we're going to be dead up in the middle of it, and we got to be looking 12 years ahead on this. And so if you don't enjoy it now and give yourself a break, they are going to continue to punish us with this overstimulation. And I just really think it's important that we take care of ourselves. Thanks.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. And Donnie, thanks for showing up and joining the last part of the chat. That's what we do here. Also, what we do here is we do cover very, very serious topics, and we go through and try to give the best analysis we can with the most evidence. That way, you don't have to take my word for it, take your own word for it. However, we do try to sprinkle in a lot of humor and comedy, because my God, man, we can't take it all seriously. We will lose our mind. Can't tell you how wasted, tired I was after inauguration in January, because I really wasn't allowing myself to rest on my heels, because a lot of the stuff that I've investigated, I watched these people, I watched this group mobilize. I had really concerns about Inauguration Day, and we got through that okay. And the violence did kick up a little bit. And a lot of these NGOs and a lot of these groups and everything else, they kind of had flash in the pan moments, and then all the money started getting canceled. But really, I was not able to just sit back just for a minute and have some fun and laugh in a while. And that's what we try to do here, is sprinkle in the humor and the comedy along with the what I believe is the most, I don't know, honest, careful analysis that I can produce myself. That doesn't make me great. It just makes me a person who's trying to convey honest and careful analysis on something and not try to be too much team one way or the other, just kind of go through it. But it's really important that we do have some fun and we do get to enjoy it, because the other side is not doing well. I mean, my God, we have an update on the story now. Well, it was broken here. That car that rammed 17th in the Northwest area, the White House.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, Secret Service is all over it. They've got long guns out, but that person was taken into custody. That person rammed basically a brick wall in a building because no kings or something? I don't. They're not doing well. They're not doing well.
The left has been crashing out, and we've been talking about the crash out for a while. They are crashing out. They're not having a good time. They're definitely struggling. But that's okay, because we're going to continue to laugh at them. We're going to continue to win. We're going to be the happy warriors that we're always supposed to be. Because the only thing that matters to us is that we continue to move the ball forward, which is what we like to do in this show. We want to make sure everyone likes to have fun here. Obviously, we bring up as many serious topics as we possibly can. But if you don't laugh at some of this stuff, Michael's joke is perfect on this. The Democrats are crashing out so badly that they're literally running into brick walls. Okay, they're actually physically running into brick walls right now because they're so angry, which is just, you gotta laugh at this stuff, people. This is hysterical. You're so ridiculous that you're running into walls because Trump's authoritarian or something, and he's got the Gestapo out here. But whatever. Okay, so anyway, guys, this has been the Political Theater. Thank you guys for joining us this evening. This is Walter Kurt and Trash Discourse. And thank you to our new sponsors at The Wellness Company. Guys, make sure you guys go check out The Wellness Company, twc.health/TPT for 15% off. And thank you guys for showing up on this show this evening. And we'll be back tomorrow night for more of the theater at 9 p.m. See you guys tomorrow. Thanks, guys.
Some folks are born with a liberty spark, their hearts beat red, white, and blue. When the anchors sneer and the cameras bark, they turn the lens right back at you. Truth bound, ain't for sale, ain't for sale. We're not the party line sons, no, we ain't for sale, ain't for sale. We're the vigilant ones, so... Some folks inherit silk-lined halls, spend our sweat while preaching share. But when the tax man wraps his knuckles raw, their mansions suddenly look bare, impaired. Ain't for sale, ain't for sale. We're not their banker-raised hairs, no. Ain't for sale, ain't for sale. We're the vigilant ones, so... Yes, some paint stars on press room lies and send the common men to toil. Ask them, how much truth will you trade tonight? They mutter, more noise, more noise, more noise. Ain't for sale, ain't for sale. Not the theater's pawns, friend. It ain't for sale, ain't for sale. We're America's steadfast one. No, we won't be spun.